Can we say this? He is the real life Superman, and his name is Clark. Can we go there? Can we tie this back?
Wow.
Can we do it? This is the real life manifestation of what it's like to be the modern day Superman.
I love that. I love that. And weirdly, in the fourth movie, they say that Clark's former football number was 44. And you know what? My dad used to wear the number 44. Isn't
And there's
that
the opening
weird?
of the podcast. If that doesn't tease people enough to listen to the rest of this, I don't know what else will.
I mean, I weirdly related so strongly to this family.
They don't chase clout, they just chase the lore. Dig scenes that the mainstream ignores. Where light fights dark in a fabled war. Yeah, the truth gets told when the movie's born. I'm the break in the flicker, the cut in the edit. The blade through the credits, the frame they embedded. Light in the distance, persistence poetic. The dark is a prison, I brighten with aesthetic. No stunt doubles, I tumble through trap fights. The scripts in my soul, I control when my track spikes. Whisper in a reel, I reveal with a black light. The dark is a canvas that I carve with a flashlight. Call it a war cry, cinematic spark. Puzzle in the shadows and code of the art. It's Andrew and Greg and the legacy embarks. Our voices ignite and we light up the dark.
All right. So this was my pick, but I want to hear how was the weekend? What just happened? It is currently November 30th when we're recording this, and you just got back to town.
That's right. I had a fantastic week this week, man. It was Thanksgiving week, and you picked National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation, which I had never seen before. And not only that, but I had never seen any of the vacation movies.
Even wow, okay. You'd seen Animal House before, right?
I have not seen Animal House, no.
So let me just say how many Animal Houses there are. Just to let you know, and I'm not a fan of any of them. I'm a fan of Christmas Vacation. The only one that like National Lampoon's Animal House is the very first, 1970s, whatever. It came from like some sort of magazine or something like that. But
Right.
the Van Wilder, this, that, all these other, even some Ryan Reynolds, there's been so many National Lampoons that there's like 30 of them.
Right.
And you have, from what you're saying, at least that have avoided all of them.
Yeah, I was never a big National Lampoon guy. Yeah, I remember
Nor was
as a
I.
kid, right. It might be a little bit before our time. You're talking about like the 70s.
Well, they went
yeah.
to. So let me just for the funny thing. There's National Lampoon's Jake's Booty Call, National Lampoon's Barely Legal, National Lampoon's Adam and Eve, National Lampoon's Cattle Call, National Lampoon's Pucked, National Lampoon's Stoned Age Unrated, National Lampoon's RoboDoc, National Lampoon's Transylvania. Like they sold out, and just like at a certain point was just like buy the rights to National Lampoon's and do everything. But the
Yeah.
ones that it's known for is kind of, the original National Lampoon's what was that the house one that we just mentioned, the one with John Belushi. Animal House, yeah. And then it became like, okay, we're doing it with Chevy Chase, and there was one or two of those vacations, and then there was Christmas Vacation. And
Right.
that's the one, and kind of the only one. And I know you have a good story that I want to hear about because you teased a little bit about it, of the original. When we say original National Lampoons, we kind of mean the Chevy Chase original National Lampoons, because that's what I think about when I think about National Lampoons.
Yeah, National Lampoon's Vacation, 1983. That was the first of this franchise. Animal House,
And
I
then
might have seen.
Did you see European? Because that one came
Well,
after this and before. Oh, so that's part of your story. Okay.
that's part of
okay.
my story. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. So anyway, yeah, just never familiar. As a kid, I used to love Mad Magazine. I remember
Oh, I
that.
love Mad. There's
Yeah,
Mad and Cracked.
yeah.
Mad was always better.
Oh, and I loved Crack too. I love both of those.
But
Yeah.
Mad, you had the fold in the back. The fold
Right.
that I forget the artist who made those, but he was doing it until like he was in his 70s or 80s.
Okay. Yeah. I don't really remember that.
Oh, so there was a
Fold.
fold.
What
So
was
on the
that?
very back inside cover, you'd look at this picture and then you'd fold it in half and then back and into like quarters,
Okay.
and then it would make it something totally new. And this is all
Okay.
before computers. Now it'd be, very easy to
Right.
do some sort of duplication. Hey, ChatGPT, make me a thing that I can fold. Like, I forget the guy's name. But yeah, I could even run away and like bring out 5 of them. I'll show it to you after and another
Okay,
day.
yeah.
But
Yeah, from what I know, National Lampoon is like a comedy magazine from what, like the 50s, 60s. It's like kind of
something
old.
like that. I
Yeah,
really don't know that much about
yeah,
the that at all, really.
yeah. So yeah, I mean, I don't really know anything about it. I guess they probably got into movie making. I know that, or at least selling the stories that they published, to Hollywood essentially. John Hughes, who wrote this movie,
Who
and he
wrote?
he wrote all the vacation movies. I did, by the way, I didn't know John Hughes was involved with the vacation movies, so I learned that as well. So that got me more excited because I love John Hughes. Home Alone, one of my all-time favorite movies, of course.
Trains,
Breakfast
plays, and
Club,
automobiles,
exactly.
like,
Ferris
forget about it.
Bueller, yeah, the list goes on and
16
on.
Candles. I mean, it goes on and on. Yeah, we could go him all day.
Yeah. So, yeah, Weird Science. I used to
What
love
one of
that one when I was a
another
kid.
one of my favorites is Career Opportunities, which is on our
Okay.
list, and I don't think you've seen that one.
No, no, I haven't.
Oh, I can't
So, yeah,
wait.
but I love John Hughes. And so when I learned that he was involved, I was excited to watch the Christmas one. And I read that he had published a short story in the National Lampoon magazine. And then
58 something.
yes, like
58
about
Christmas or
Christmas.
something.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So, okay. So yeah, but for whatever reason, just, not on my radar, just kind of flew by my radar. Never watched them as a kid. I don't know, just yeah, just some things grab your attention, some things don't. And I just never
You were
did. I
into
always saw
watching fucking Hoosiers, and that's about it.
I think I was more of like a 90s kid. I mean, when I think of, Saturday Night Live, Belushi, Chevy Chase, that to me feels like the past generation.
Even though
Like,
this is like 89 or whatever, you're just still like, "Oh, this is not a night," because this was replayed in the 90s a lot. This like, when I think of 90s, weirdly, I'd forgotten that this was, like, an 89 film. Like, I was like, "Oh, this is a 90s movie." It feels like a 93 to me, even though it's not, it feels
okay.
like because I watched it all through every holiday. It was just like Christmas Vacations here. It was this and A Christmas Story. Like, these are the
Yeah.
2.
Yeah. Yeah, it feels like a 80s
But tell me more about
franchise.
your hurt childhood. I wanna know what it's like to grow up without this.
I grew up more like, 90s. I got more like Dana Carvey, Mike Myers, and then into the late 90s, Will Ferrell. I was more, for
Oh,
Saturday
they were
Night
my friends
Live.
too. Don't
Yeah,
don't
yeah.
discount them. Yeah, they were all there.
For Saturday Night Live, I was more of that generation. And, the whole 80s Saturday Night Live era kind of passed me by. I was
See,
still a
that's
kid,
interesting. So
you
you're
know?
relating this to SNL. I get why, but
Yeah.
I never related Christmas Vacation to SNL. That's weird because when I think of Chevy in SNL, I think of Chevy 70s SNL. I don't relate him to SNL in the 90s or even the 80s. I just look at Christmas Vacation as its own 90s thing, even though it's not. I'm just saying my own weird fucked
Right.
up brain.
Right. Yeah, I think I'm relating it to SNL because I probably saw the vacation movies, from afar, trailers or whatever as a kid and thought, "Oh, that's Chevy Chase. That's like, my parents' generation of SNL, and I don't like Chevy Chase and I don't really relate and I don't care." It didn't feel
Wow.
yeah, I
You
didn't
so you
connect to
felt
that
you felt
generation.
like Fletch when you heard of this? Is that what
Never
your thing
saw
was?
yeah, I think I may have saw Fletch. It made no impact. I
Funny
don't remember
Farm? Like,
watching
what
Fletch,
what was
no.
your viewpoint of Chevy Chase in the 90s, Andrew?
I was not a Chevy Chase fan. It was almost like I didn't even care. It's not that I wasn't a fan, it's that I didn't click, I didn't watch his stuff. Everything you just named. Never watched any of the vacation movies, Funny Farm, him on SNL. I never watched any of it. So I
Was
think
he like a
again,
John Cleese to you?
yeah, kind of like an American John Cleese.
An
Yeah.
American John Cleese. He's like
Yeah,
a bit
yeah.
further. He's over there. I know he's funny. People
Yeah,
care, but I
yeah.
don't give a shit.
I never loved John Cleese that much either. I mean, did I don't get me wrong. I like John Cleese, laugh at his jokes, but it's like, am I watching things? Am I like, oh my God, a new John Cleese movie?
Not
Because
going
I
out of
mean,
your way. You're
no,
not
no,
buying tickets ahead of time. Yeah.
no, exactly. So again, that was a little bit like the previous generation from me and from when I grew up. So it's,
Little separated. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. So I think I just never really was excited to go back and connect with those movies. And I mean, I'm kind of spoiling a little bit of the reveal here, but I actually feel like I'm so glad that that's true because I'll tell you about the experience I had this week and it completely connected for me and I thought, "Oh my God, I relate so much more to these movies now." And I'm glad I watched them now as opposed to when I was a kid. I think I actually weirdly have more of a connection now than I would have when I was younger.
Well, because this movie's told from the perspective of somebody who is older.
Yeah, because it's really the dad's movie. I mean, it's Clark
Right.
Griswold, he's the main character, he's the center of all the films, and it's his story, and it's his family, but really everybody's there to support him. He's the decision maker. It's a really classic old school American family, it's like the all-American family. It's like father makes all the decisions, earns the money, the wife is supportive, they have 2 kids. Even when she doesn't like his decisions, she still just supports him.
She goes with
She's
it.
like,
Yeah, she's
"Yeah,
like, "Oh, Clark.
yeah,
Okay.
right." She's like,
Sparky,
"Okay, honey."
Sparky,
Right.
whatever you want, Sparky."
Yeah. So, and I very much related to that. So I think I related to that looking back now as an adult, remembering my childhood, because this was the period of my childhood. You and I were born in 1983. I was born in 83. You were born in 82. You're a little older than me.
You got to listen to your
Yeah.
elders. I mean, obviously.
Yeah. I was born in 83, which is the year the first movie came out. So I really related a lot to the family. I thought, wow, this is really like my childhood. But now that I'm older, I'm in my 40s now, and I look back and I think about having kids now, and I completely relate to Clark also. So I felt like I related to the kids, but I also related to Clark. So to me, it just hit me on so many levels. And now I'm so glad that I discovered these movies now.
No, that's great.
This episode of Light Up the Dark is brought to you by Movie Map, the new app that saves you when your friend recommends the 3rd movie in a franchise and you suddenly realize you haven't even seen the first 2. Studios don't use numbers anymore. Now every sequel is called Dawn, Rise, The Fall of, Reborn, Resurgence, Reckoning, The Final Reckoning, Resurrection, Aftermath, Genesis, Annihilation, Extinction, Uprising, Legacy, Origins, The Beginning, The Return, The Fall of. Oh wait, I said that one already. You see, that's exactly my point. No one can keep these movies straight anymore. So when your friend says, oh, just watch the Christmas one, it totally makes sense on its own, and you press play, and you immediately feel like you've walked into season 4 of a show you've never seen. Movie Map is there for you. Just type in the movie your friend says is the best one, and Movie Map instantly unlocks the entire franchise in the actual correct order. With Movie Map, you get star-studded features like Back to One. One click, one way to start. The Back to One feature begins at the beginning, where characters are introduced and stakes are established. Guaranteed to make you like the characters more by the time you reach the bizarre Christmas one that has slowly shifted the tone on you like a frog in boiling water. Oh, here's another great feature. Auto skip the garbage sequel. Let's be honest, every franchise has one. With Auto Skip, Movie Map quietly removes the worst film in any series, so you don't waste 2 hours watching something that contributes nothing to the overall arc. I'm looking at you, Twilight Saga Eclipse. Okay, here's Hazel's favorite feature, the Baby Lock for maximum chronology. Are you bored during movie 2's random flashback sequence? Maybe you're thinking, oh, skip ahead to the good stuff. Not with Baby Lock. Movie Map will save you from yourself by locking down the fast forward and next movie buttons so you can't skip ahead, forcing you to watch the entire franchise in perfect chronological order. Trust us, you'll thank us later. Download Movie Map today and avoid those chaotic movie recommendations from your friends, the ones that make you hate the franchise so much you start rooting for the villain just to wrap things up faster. That's Movie Map. And remember to use promo code Andrew and Greg for an extended free trial. That's 1 month of Movie Map for free. Movie Map, because your friends don't always care if you've seen the first one.
I'll tell you what happened to me this week. I've already been talking a lot though. Do you want to say like why you
No,
picked
I
the
don't. I
movie?
want to hear what you have to say.
Okay,
Yeah,
just
I'm
tell
shutting
you
the
my
fuck up.
experience. Tell you my experience. Okay. So what happened to me this week is I just clicked play on Christmas Vacation. I had never seen Christmas Vacation before. I had never seen any of the vacation movies. This was
With Hazel. You were watching with Hazel for the first time.
watched Christmas Vacation with Hazel. If you want to know Hazel's reaction.
Okay, yeah. She's how many phones? Is it 5 phone? Is it 5 phone?
I would call it a 4-phone Hazel. Actually.
Okay.
It's
I
a
knew the
4-phone.
opening with the animation.
Yeah.
She was going to be scrolling.
Actually that's not true. She loves animation. So that actually hooked her in. Believe it or not, it was the reverse of what you just said. The opening 3 minutes were her favorite part, and she actually said to me right at the beginning, she goes, "Oh, it's an animated movie," and she got really excited. And I was like,
Oh, no,
and
yeah, she's in
right,
for high disappointment of the car chase that
yeah.
comes right after that.
And I felt terrible, and I was like, "No, no, no, it's just the credits." And she's
Oh
like,
no,
"Oh, because
I
she
should have
loves
picked
animated movies."
Aladdin. She would
Oh
have been
man,
just loved it.
yeah, yeah. So that was actually a disappointment. But she stuck around for about the first half hour. That's what, maybe 20 minutes to 30
That's
minutes.
okay.
Yeah,
I gotta say that almost
yeah.
counts at least as a 3 or a three and a
I was
half.
gonna
Like
say
that's
maybe
a
even
third
a
of the
3,
movie.
yeah. Maybe even a
Yeah,
3.5 phone Hazel, because she was with it for about the first act. The whole bit of
pretty
them,
good.
yeah, them looking for the Christmas tree, they come home, he starts to put lights on the house. She's with it for all that. As soon
Did she get to the plug in the lights or no?
She
Did she
did,
get
and
to
I
the
think
hallelujah?
yes, and that's right when she lost interest because it
Got it.
was
So she
like
feels that she's like, he accomplished something, now I can leave.
exactly,
Okay.
exactly. The movie's very episodic. This particular movie, there's not much story, and so it's
Right.
essentially like a series of comedic bits,
a hundred
And yeah,
percent.
and so once it got to the end of the
It's
first big
family
arc,
frustrations that are relatable, through the father's perspective of trying to I'll only interrupt for this because I actually wrote down this one sentence which I said to me defines the movie perfectly, and I was like, "It's a painfully honest exploration of a father holding it together to try and keep alive the joy of Christmas from his youth and the longing to pass that feeling and tradition on to his children." And I was like, "That is my Roger Ebert one sentence, perfect, put together, like, log line for this movie."
yeah,
And I did not use
yeah.
ChatGPT for that.
Yeah, that's exactly right. That's exactly what it is. Yeah, and, you can tell just from that description that there's real heart, and I'll get in more into, like, the story and everything, because for me, it was all just a total discovery. Yeah, so Hazel, once we got to the first end of that bit where it relieved the drama of, like, the conflict of, is he gonna be able to light the lights or not? Or, how is this Christmas gonna go? Once it starts to go wrong more and more, and the tension was kind of relieved, and the answer becomes, how is this Christmas gonna go? It's gonna go terribly. And then Hazel was kind of like, okay, I sort of get the bit, and then she's pulled up the phone. And for the whole second half of the movie, she's just checked out.
So she checked
So,
out before
yeah.
Randy Quaid really got to come in there and
Once
start
he
fucking
got
shit
in
up.
there too, I think that
Yeah.
character and her probably are not
Yeah,
jiving. Yeah.
not happening. Even though
So,
he's a great next, segment of that film.
yeah. Yeah, I have a thought on him as well, in the 3rd movie and in the whole franchise. So for Hazel, it was a kind of a pretty big swing and a miss, I would say. It's not her kind of movie.
It was
She
a
just
great
kept saying
short film, 30 minutes. Chick it up right there at the
yes,
end. It when it plugs in, roll credits, and she'd be like,
pretty
"Oh, that was
much.
nice. Moving on."
Pretty much, yeah. I think she just kept saying to me, "Oh my god, this is my living nightmare, is being married to a man like Clark Griswold." Yeah. So, that's all she could picture. She just pictured, like, the mistake of a lifetime is marrying this guy, and then she
Yeah.
saw the film. For her, it was like a horror movie. It was like everything of what not to do in life is pick a man like this. Yeah, from a woman's
It's
point of view.
brilliant. It's brilliant.
So she mentioned that quite a
She
few
did a
times
really
there.
good job of picking her partner in life. Somebody who just completely has
Uh,
avoided watching this film for this long. She got the right one.
uh, yeah. I'm probably more like Clark Griswold than I would like to admit, and then she knows, so hopefully she's not gonna listen to this episode, so I can say that, so
She didn't make it through the movie. She's not making it through
right.
this podcast.
So she doesn't realize. I think but that's one reason why it's so good, and for us guys, we relate so much to it because I think, in a way, we're all like Clark Griswold, right? He has this everyman quality, and he's incredibly relatable. So, yeah, I think we're all a little bit like this, and that's why it's funny, it's because 'cause we've all had these kind of experiences.
That
So,
character's
yeah.
tring to fucking hold it together. Like,
Right, yeah,
he says the
exactly.
line when he's underneath, when he's pulled right at the beginning, the opening scene, he's pulled underneath this 18-wheeler about to kill his entire family, and he's screaming, "We're all right!" Like he's still holding it together. We're all right. Like
Right.
you're in the worst possible situation you could possibly be in. Your entire family is about to be murdered, and you're still screaming, "We're all right."
Yeah. That was a great bit. Yeah, that was I remarked to Hazel, I was like, "Great stunt driving." I was like, "It's a great bit. It's a
It's
great
the
comedy
wide
bit."
shot that pans
Yeah.
with it, and then they hold it to let you see. It's not held on by the back or the front, or they don't have a winch on it, and this is before, real CG. So they're literally going like, "Nope, that's a fucking stunt." It's probably a stunt driver and fucking, 3 mannequins sitting in there and
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
going for it in a fucking station wagon.
But, that's dad's job, right? To hold the family together and, keep it together, stay emotionally, somewhat stable, right? Is like provide that foundation and yeah, move things forward.
And
And
I love that they have the
that's
mom, the
Clark
Beverly
Griswold.
D'Angelo thing, though, like, she's the one who solves the problem. As he's getting out there trying to put the thing together, she flicks the switch. She puts it together, and then she doesn't come back out to the front lawn and go, "Hey, I fixed it." She gives him the credit. He's been struggling, he's been doing it, but I realized like, it has all those little levels. That's such a nice thing that still holds
Yeah.
up.
I really love that. It's very charming. I mean, there's so many times where she does figure it out. In fact, I would say almost all the time.
Almost all,
She's
yeah.
actually the one where whether it's an accident or deliberate, she kind of stumbles on the solution and she's like, "Oh, Clark, look over here, right here." And he's like, "Oh, thanks, honey."
And
And
it's
yeah.
the great audience thing though, because we're in on that joke and we get it, but we get and it just brings her character to another little level that we're inside on certain jokes with her that no one else sees. And that's just a nice thing that brings up Beverly D'Angelo so well there.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's part of the genius of the whole series of films is the cast, is the 2 of them, Chevy Chase with Beverly D'Angelo together, them together because they're the only 2 and Randy Quaid as Cousin Eddie. And those
Randy,
3
yes.
yeah,
Yeah.
those 3 are like they're the foundation that brings us through the whole franchise. They can recast the kids can change,
They
some of
always
the
change.
yeah,
Yeah.
so some of the relatives change, but, like, those 3, especially the husband and wife. And I think that's what it was for me that made me connect immediately was I'll tell you the story of my viewing, but it was the husband and wife. That's what really brought me in, where I realized, "Oh, this is a husband and wife who really love each other." And even though Clark has, his eye strays and he has these little subplots
Yeah,
where he likes
that's
to
such a funny because that happens
right.
throughout the series. That's
It's
just
a
like a
running
very
gag, but it's
funny.
like
Yeah.
and I said to Hazel, I'm like, "You know what? It was kinda just a thing in the past that it's like that was a little more accepted," and it's like, it doesn't mean that he doesn't love his wife, it's just like, it's a little thing that, men
Yeah,
used
you
to
don't
do, the eye used to
I
stray a
know what
little
you mean
more.
about it being like a '90s thing, but 100% it's not a thing where you ever actually feel that it would, even if, Mary, that's my name." He's like, "No shit." Even if Mary would want to have sex with him, like, he wouldn't do it. You know what I mean? It's like, you don't feel that. You feel like
He'd
there's
probably
this
mess it
little
up. He'd probably just mess it
Okay,
up
they
somehow.
could
Yeah.
ring it out like that. Yeah,
Yeah,
they
yeah.
definitely could. But I don't feel I feel like it's such an easy gag to play within the thing where you go like, "Okay, let's dangle this in front of Clark." It's funny to see him sweat, like, that whole scene that you're relating to, like, within this when he's like, where am I? What all" like, him just it's basically just allowing Chevy to do what he's great at, and it's like, let's watch him fumble and play this and almost ad lib, like, it feels like an entire made up scene
Yeah.
that's going on there. Right? So it's almost like an avenue for him to go down and be like, let's just throw him this and just let him play.
Yeah, totally. I thought of it like it's the way all men feel on the inside, it's like he's externalizing what we all go through internally, whether it comes out or not, right? It's like we could hold it together and lean over and be Mr. Cool James Bond and hi and keep it together and be flirtatious and you can do that, but I think on the inside there's always this quality of like that's actually what's running through your mind. And so that's why it's so funny, I think, and so that's the way I thought of it. So I thought of it as almost like you can't actually take anything that happens in these movies literally.
No.
They are kind of like a cartoon. It's a caricature of an American family. It's the all American family dialed up to the 11 of absurdity. you know?
Yes.
Yeah,
And the
yeah.
90s aspect that you just brought up there is very Married with Children. Like they're playing up
Right,
that little aspect of
right,
like the father,
right.
even though that is crazy degree of dialing it up. But I'm saying that this aspect of like the hitting on a woman or doing this or doing that outside of your marriage, like that's when you say the 90s aspect of it, that was being played up a lot.
Yeah, yeah. I think it's a little more charming in the first movie, actually, which I'll talk about, like, the whole Christy
Oh, the
Brinkley.
Christy Brinkley driving by. Yeah,
Yes,
100%.
yes,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
yes. Yeah, there, I think it works a little better because it was vacation, he's driving, he keeps running into her, it's actually a recurring storyline in the first movie, whereas in the third movie, the Christmas one, it's like he just goes to the department store and he sees a beautiful woman and he's fantasizing about her, and he's thinking about her, like, at home in his living room, and it's a
That's
little
where
bit
it gets
like
weird. I
yeah.
think it's totally fine and funny in the scene when he's at the store with her, and then his son
Mm.
walks up and he's like, "Oh, you can't see the line, can you, Russ?" And it's like, okay, that's like a little funny. When he goes home and it's like, is he Norman Bates jerking off outside the window? And then because then he turns around and he goes, "What? Where am I? Where am I? Oh,
Yeah,
oh, oh."
yeah.
It's giving
They
him a
kept
but I think they're also doing a thing within that, which is the Fast Times at Ridgemont High. They're trying to put the red bathing suit out there. He's having this thing, so
right.
they're almost referencing another film that was around the same period of time, trying to do a little SNL joke on that. And then you also have, Eddie going up there throwing the towel around. So they're throwing a bunch of jokes in on that little thing to be like, let's give it the and you get a great song. Meli Kaliki Maka is the one. Da, da. Like it's just a nice little thing. I know that the repeat value of it is but
I think that's what makes it charming is that his eye kind of strays a little bit and they make it a little comedic subplot, but then it has a function because the function is the husband and wife always come back together. They always realized we really love each other. The family's always coming back together, and that's the arc of all the stories of all the films. Is there's a little bit of a break. The family's tested. They're pulled apart a little bit, and they figure it out, and they keep the heart, and they love each other, and they come together in the end.
it's the holidays and we're all miserable.
So I found that really charming right away, and let me tell you from the very start,
Finally,
okay?
sorry, I'll
Yeah.
stop talking. This episode of Light Up the Dark is brought to you in part by Eddie's signature bathrobe collection, the only luxury robe line inspired by the man who changed American Christmas fashion forever. These aren't just robes, they're lifestyle statements. Each one is crafted with Eddie's patented open-air ventilation design, perfect for late-night garage runs, early morning beer fetches, and those special moments when you find yourself outside, cigarette dangling, holding a sewer hose that really shouldn't be this warm. Every robe includes sewer-resistant fibers, tested against holiday waste levels known only to Cousin Eddie, a reinforced cigarette pocket stitched with pride, the exclusive ceremonial dump stance, hemline cut specifically for maximum mobility, and of course, a small embroidered patch on the chest that simply reads, "Shitter was full." Classy, tasteful, honest. The deluxe edition even comes pre-wrinkled and slightly stained, so you don't have to do any of the character work yourself. Slip it on, stand in your driveway, wave to the neighbors, and watch property values dip instantly, just like Eddie would have wanted. This holiday season, don't just celebrate Christmas. Live it the Eddie way. Confident, comfortable, unhinged in all the right places. And for our listeners, use promo code Andrew and Greg at checkout to receive an exclusive discount and a free emergency sewer cap. Perfect for those moments when the tank hits critical mass and you guessed it, the shitter is full.
So I have like a little bit of a roller coaster. I have like a really funny story that happened to me for this week. Nothing major, just related to the films, just watching the film. So, you know, you picked National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation. I'd never seen any of the vacation movies, and I had not seen the third one. So I watched the third one, and okay, I'll tell you the truth. Okay, now this is not having seen them ever, and then remember, Hazel didn't like the movie. She checked out, right? So I'm watching the film and I'm kind of like enjoying it, I think, a little more than Hazel, but I got to tell you the truth. First viewing, having watched Christmas Vacation, the third movie in a franchise, that was the Christmas themed
As
film,
number one that you
right?
viewed.
As my first movie, did not like it. Okay.
Wow.
Didn't have a good viewing. I thought this movie, I actually really, I'll tell you this, on the first viewing, right? Just cold press play. I thought the opening act, the part where Hazel was watching it with me, I did think it was actually pretty funny. I laughed out loud. I'm like, okay, I'm getting to know this Griswold family. I think the reason she pulled the phone out and she started zoning out is because it did have this kind of meandering quality where it didn't feel like there was really a point to the story. You know, it's like they're not going anywhere. And I had not seen the other vacation movies yet, but now I realize in all the other vacation movies they're going somewhere.
They
always have
go
like
on a
an
vacation.
right?
It's
They
very
actually go.
yeah. I won't talk more. But
Yeah.
yes, that's something to go into later.
And so this one, the Christmas one, doesn't have that. And so, you know, it gets a little meandering. And even I started checking out too. And I was kind of like, okay, I sort of get the joke. And then the other thing about it is like, was it really that enjoyable to just watch a dysfunctional family to this degree? I mean, they're so dysfunctional. It's like, it's almost painful to watch. I mean, it's almost not fun, you know, where you're just like, oh my God, this family is painful. And I sort of just don't want to spend Christmas with them. You know, I want this movie to be over. Like there is a little bit of that quality. And so I was kind of like, I'd rather spend time with the rich, you know, McAllisters for Christmas. I'd rather be with Macaulay Culkin and be home alone and, you know, live in a giant house, you know, in the rich
Funny part is
suburbs.
with
you
Home
know what I
Alone,
mean?
same. You know, writer here.
Right.
You don't spend time with the McAllisters. You spend time with Macaulay Culkin, and you get cutaways to the McAllisters. So it's an
Right.
interesting just dynamic of that. But keep going.
Yeah.
Keep going.
But you get to live at their house, which is way fancier. Like the McAllisters are richer. They're, you know, they have a bigger family.
Somehow his
you know,
father's a drug lord for God knows
Exactly.
what, owning this
Father
$10
is,
million house. Yeah, with
he's like,
putting all his kids through college. Yeah, somehow.
I think I read recently there was some interview that said like he's supposed to be a lawyer, but then there was like some joke
I mean,
about
is he
maybe
Johnny Cochran? I
Yeah,
mean, he must be the most
right,
famous lawyer
right.
of 1991. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know
he's
what's
like
happening.
he's like a lawyer for the mafia, like the Chicago mafia.
Dude, he's
right? Yeah.
definitely, yeah. He was
So anyway, but they're rich in that movie, so it's a lot more fun to spend the Christmas, you know, holiday vacation with a rich family, basically.
with rich
you
people.
know, yeah,
and Joe
basically
Pesci.
it is.
And
I
Joe
mean,
Pesci. Come on.
Yeah, and then you get the criminals, and so in my head, having never seen the film before, I'm like, well, you know, this family's just so dysfunctional, and I'm like, I'd rather watch a different Christmas movie, you know. And so the credits rolled, the movie finished, and I watched it, and I was kind of like, okay, didn't really feel anything one way or another. Okay, well then I thought, well, gosh, what am I gonna say on the podcast? Because you know,
I'd also pigeonholed you. Let me just preface this.
Right, that was the
I
other thing.
prefaced this. I
That's right,
said
go ahead, yeah.
I tied your hands behind your back because I said, listen, I can't have you hate this movie. I was like, I can't, and if you do, like, you're gonna kind of have to keep it to yourself because this movie means so much to me. Like Christmas, like a Christmas story in this movie. Like, if you hate it, I can't have you bash this on the podcast because anytime I rewatch this, which I watch it every year, like all the time, so I can't have your like fucking Nazi little voice in my head just going like, you know what, I really hate the part about the, and then I rewatch it and I start hearing you. I'm like, you can't ruin my future viewings of this movie. You can't destroy my childhood. So, and then you kind of said like, okay. So there was a lot of baggage placed upon you by me to be like, you have to come at this from some good angle. So just to preface it with
Right.
that.
That's right, exactly. Yeah, you had texted me before I even watched it, and you had told me that. You had said, "Hey, just so you know, this is a childhood favorite. It's a little bit special to me. I hold this one deep in my heart, and you gotta be nice."
Don't fuck
So
with me here, bro.
yeah. So I was already thinking about that. So then when I got done with the movie, I thought, well, oh no, you know, what do
I
I
have nothing
say?
to say. You're
Yeah,
like,
because
fuck.
like I didn't
You're
really
like,
love
the
it.
opening animation was kind of cool, and the font on the ending credits, that's interesting. Like, you had nothing.
Exactly. Like, what do I say? And so, but I realized my disadvantage, which is I don't know the vacation movies. I had never seen the whole series. And so I thought, well, I feel really at a disadvantage here because I don't even know this series of films. And so I
You're out of
thought,
place,
yeah, so I thought, how am I even going to have an opinion on this? I can't
You
just
have no
come in and say-
context. As they would say in The
Exactly.
Big Lebowski, you're like a child who wandered into the middle of a movie. You have no idea what's going on here.
Pretty much. So the fact that you texted that to me was actually perfect. It was like the best thing that ever could have happened because it made me decide I'm gonna go back and I'm gonna watch the whole series. So
Oh,
I
you're a
went back.
psychopath. Have you
Yeah.
watched the whole series?
I thought I had to because how am I gonna have this discussion without knowing the whole series? So I went back to so here's the here's the funny part. This is why it's a story. Because I didn't just watch 4 movies. And by the way, I did watch all 4. I watched National Lampoon's Vacation, European Vacation, then I rewatched Christmas Vacation, and then I watched Vegas Vacation.
Vegas, which I told you, I said don't watch Vegas, but you went. You watched Vegas.
I did
Okay.
it, yeah. I'm a
Okay.
completist. I wanted to watch all of them.
Right.
So,
You had to get through.
that's all 4, right? There's not a 5th one, is there?
Of these, those
No,
are the
that's
ones
it,
that I've
yeah.
watched of
Okay,
this.
yeah. I don't think-
I think actually wait, hold on. I'm sorry. There is one that you missed, which I think is probably the best. I think they did a spin-off, but it's not with
Oh, Christmas Vacation 2.
yes, and
With-
they go
with
to
Randy
it's
Quaid.
with Randy Quaid, but it does not have Beverly D'Angelo. It does not have
Right.
Clark, and he goes to. It's one of those where it's like, let's bring him to an island. It's like, let's bring Jason to space. Like it's one of those where they do that. So you don't.
Right.
You're not missing anything. I mean, if you're a completist, you can go kill yourself and watch that. If you'd
Right.
like, but
Okay. Yeah, I see that. National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation 2. No,
I don't think people really consider that part of the
Right.
you know.
Yeah, more of a spin-off.
You've watched the ones that have Clark and Beverly D'Angelo in them. That's what
Exactly.
matters.
Exactly. Yeah, I've watched the Griswolds, all the Griswolds. Yes, and by the way, and now that I've seen them all, gosh, would I ever love for a legacy sequel? Come back and do another one now. Like do the last one, and it's the Griswolds, Clark and Ellen as grandparents now.
And do you want it during Christmas again?
I would prefer just a regular vacation movie, not make it.
You like
Christmas
when they
themed.
leave. Because
Yes,
that's now that you've
I
seen
like
them
when
all, we
they
can kind of
leave.
talk about that.
Yes,
This is the one where they
yes.
don't leave.
Right.
This is a Christmas vacation, but they don't leave the fucking house. You know what I mean? They're
That's
in the
right.
house the whole time.
Yeah.
Besides, he goes to the office, and then my favorite thing ever, which is, he's putting the non-nuclear cereal varnish on top of on the bottom of the sled, and then just zips away like a cartoon. The fastest thing ever.
Right.
I laugh so hysterical at that every single time.
I thought the movie should be called National Lampoon's Christmas Break, not National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation, because they don't really go on vacation. The vacation is the time you have off of work. It's you stay home, but you're on Christmas break. It's not really a vacation. That's the way I thought of it.
Okay. If that's
Yeah.
your only criticism, we're doing pretty good on the second
Okay.
viewing. All right. So talk
Okay.
about your second
Okay,
viewing and in
so-
context.
yeah,
I want to
yeah,
hear
yeah.
this. I want to hear
Okay,
this.
so here's what happened to me.
Because
So
now
I
you're like, now
decided-
I hate the movie even more, having seen it in context.
So I watched the first movie, and so here's what happened to me. So I took it upon myself. I said, I'm doing it. I'm watching all 4 of these. But here's the funny part, and this is why it's a story, is because I myself went on vacation. I went away for Thanksgiving this week. So this week happened to be Thanksgiving week. We're watching the film. We're recording the episode. We're releasing it next week, which is for Christmas time. This week, though, the week of the
Wait, did
recording.
you watch these when you were away on vacation? So I can see why Hazel hates you and hates these films. You went on vacation with Hazel for like a couple days, and you decided to
Okay.
binge watch this?
So here's what happened. So Hazel
Oh
and I
man, she's gonna be
booked-
so upset at you.
Hazel and I booked a lovely weekend getaway for 2 at a cabin in the Catskill Mountains. A romantic getaway for Thanksgiving. And it was gorgeous. It was amazing time. We had, one of the best trips we've ever had. It was super short. It was only we were only away for a full day. It was just 3 days.
And these movies were Heather Locklear to you? Don't tell me.
And I stay up a little bit later than she does, though. So a lot of times
True,
she'll fall asleep
yes.
early. Yeah, she'll fall asleep early, and I'll be up for a couple hours, and I won't really have anything to do.
Men die younger than women, but we live longer only because we stay up more. If you take the cumulative amount of awake hours, it's the same time period. They just live 10 years longer, but we steal an extra 3 hours every night.
So we arrive at this beautiful hotel up in the Catskills, and we had a great night walking around. They had like a sauna. It was like it's the fancy
Don't rub it in.
facilities, and yeah, it was amazing. And and the whole time I was thinking to myself, am I gonna have enough time to watch 4 vacation movies like during this trip? And so Hazel goes to sleep. We had a great day. And sure enough, I click on the first National Lampoon's Vacation from the start. I'm like, I'm going to watch them all 4,
They had this
and I'm
on
committing
like
myself.
a Netflix, or you buy it on the Prime, or what
Well,
happened? I
I'll
just said
admit,
I said it like I was 800 years old. I go the
right,
Prime. You
the
buy it on the
Prime.
Prime.
I got it on the Prime. The Prime just happened to be on my phone for this evening because we're at a resort. There's no television. So I had to watch it on my phone. I had no choice. I do have
It's
a pretty big
okay.
screen phone though. So I watched it on my phone, and here's what happened. So Hazel's asleep. I'm laying in the bed. Everything's dark. I'm watching National Lampoon's Vacation at 3 o'clock in the morning on my phone. Okay. It actually
As it
reminded
was
me of
as it
like
was as it was intended.
exactly. It reminded me of like when I was a kid and you would just flip on a movie on cable like at 2 o'clock in the morning. It was like
Yes.
just
Which
whatever's
which
on
is a very
PBS.
great tone to be
Yeah.
watching this type of movie. That fits perfectly.
Perfect for it. 1983, old school comedy. Well, I click on the first movie, and what happens is the credits roll and it says directed by Harold Ramis. And
Yes.
so
Yes.
I didn't know that. And so I'm like, oh, okay. So Harold Ramis is a really good director. So I'm like, I hope this movie's good.
Groundhog
Well,
Day, you're in.
within literally one scene, I'm like, I love this movie. I mean, the opening scene of him haggling at the car dealership,
You're
and
bringing it back, yeah.
and they cheat him, and they smash his car, and they sell him the wrong car, and you know. But what I realized is when you go back to the first one, Clark Griswold in the first movie, he's much more grounded. They
Yeah.
haven't gotten to the sequel, so it hasn't gotten to the point where he's like a living cartoon character. The movies
Right.
are still obviously heightened, they're still funny, they're still very goofy, they're still very cartoonish and kind of surrealistic. Like the joke in that scene, the very end of that opening scene is they say, "Okay, bring his car back. He doesn't want this one," and they bring it back, but it's already smashed. And he tries to open the door, and the car is all smashed. And so, it's completely ridiculous, but there's something a little more kind of grounded. And so to me, it was even
There's a
funnier.
realism to his anger in
Yes.
those things that is
Yes.
he breezes off a bit more in Christmas. Like you've grounded is a good way of putting it, even though there's the most ridiculous things that happen to him within that. Yeah.
By the third movie, I feel like, they've dialed it up like a little
Right.
more each movie. And so by
Yeah.
the third one, it's to the level of just absurdity. The first one,
I'm
yeah.
getting it now though. You watched this without the context of it, because even though as a kid, what I didn't I'd seen Wally World enough, and I'd seen the whole, oh, okay, we got this, and I saw Europe, and I got, but when I glommed on to Christmas, I went to, but I had those as my backstory.
Right.
I fucked you. I fucked you up here. So
Yeah,
this
you
is, I'm
did.
glad that you went to this.
Yeah, I kind of had to go back and like course correct because yeah, you threw
Mhm.
me into number 3 first, and it wasn't. I couldn't acclimate to that environment
You
without.
can't watch Back to the Future
Yeah,
Part 3,
right.
and yeah, yeah, yeah.
You pretty much threw me into the deep end of the pool without me like wading in first. Like I needed to get used to the water first, you know? Yeah.
Right.
So I did that on my own and it was great, but I'm really glad I did because I had this like week of discovery where I had an amazing vacation during the daytime and then at nighttime, every night on the trip,
You
I would
cheated on
play
your wife with a new National
exactly.
Lampoons.
Yeah.
Got it. Okay, yeah.
And dude, I got to the end. I mean, we're not talking about the whole franchise, so I'll skip to the point. The point is, I watched the end of the first. I got to the end of the first movie, and I just loved this movie. I mean, the first vacation is just one. It's one of my. It's okay. It's one of the best comedies ever made. It's one of my new all-time favorite comedies. I rated it 5 stars on Letterboxd. I absolutely loved it.
Wow! Hold
I
on, hold
yes.
on, you went 5-star letterbox
Dude,
on National Lampoons.
I
Wow!
I fell in love with it. I couldn't believe I had never seen this movie. I watched it and I was like, "Oh my god, there are so many things about this movie I love." I related to the family. I come from a family of this generation and I have a brother, so we have 2 kids in our family. And my dad kind of looks like Chevy Chase and my mom has curly blonde hair like Beverly D'Angelo and we have 2 kids in our family. And we used to do this. 2 kids in the back seat, parents in the front, go on a trip, go on a vacation. dad's like super positive. He's trying to hold it together. Mom's a little bit
I love
like
that,
not
trying
sure
to hold
about
it
this.
together.
Yeah, it's like, I mean, I just related so much. And I myself have blonde hair, and I was skinny like Anthony Michael Hall in the first movie. Okay, so the first movie, the kids
Your
I
brother
thought were
used to be a
phenomenal.
girl, then he transitioned. Like, it all fits.
Yeah. And well, my brother's at least a younger brother, so yeah, so he's kind of, and my brother actually is more quiet, he's a little more like kind of keeps to himself. So, yeah, and I just related completely to that, to not only the family, I fell in love with the husband and wife, the couple.
The dynamic, yeah.
And then not only that, but I thought the writing of the movie, the jokes I thought were the funniest. Yeah, and at least funnier than the third one, than what I had seen before. I thought all the jokes were hilarious, but the writing, and not just the jokes, and not even just the story and the heart and the family, and just, the emotion of it was great. Like, you love this family. Like, I fell in love with the Griswold family watching the first movie. And I totally get everything that comes after that. I'm like, I get it. I get why people love it, is because you just fall in love with that family. And not only all that I'm talking about, but if we ever do the first movie for the podcast officially, I have a take on the first movie. I have a metaphorical take. I think that the first National Lampoon's Vacation is one of the most beautiful, profound comedies ever made. I think it's incredibly meaningful. I think it has a metaphorical level to it that's beyond just the surface. And it's written by John Hughes, so we
It's
know the
John
guy's a
Hughes,
genius.
yeah.
Yeah, he's a
So,
genius. He's an
I
absolute
mean,
genius.
he also wrote Christmas, but let's
Yeah.
I mean, listen, we decide now. You're either gonna make it your own official pick that we're gonna get on for like next year, or we talk about it now. This is
Well,
up to
I'll
you.
just say this. The choice of the father wants to go to Wally World, which is Disneyland. Okay, right? They're from
Yeah,
Chicago.
no, of course.
Yeah. They're from Chicago. They're doing a cross-country road trip to LA to go to the final destination of Disneyland. And by the way, just in general, that first movie, it was just like a love letter to America. I just fell in love with that about it. It was a cross-country road
It's a
trip
cross country. It's
across
Fandango.
America. So you get to see America all the way through. And I just thought this movie is so charming. It's so beautiful. And it's like, it's an ode to America. It's like a love letter to America. And this is the all-American family, And so I just saw the film as having so many levels to it. And the choice of Wally World, okay? Now, this really
Here we
deserves
go.
its
Here
own
we go. Here's
podcast.
here's where
This
does this
deserves
go?
its own podcast, but I'll just tell you, the choice of Wally World, to me, it was like the gates of heaven. It was like they were trying to go somewhere beyond. They weren't just going on a family vacation. The whole vacation, to me, was a metaphor for life. This is the vacation of life. This is a metaphor. This is the journey of life. And so
Okay.
I read the whole film as a metaphor, and I thought it was actually unbelievably profound. And it's like, that movie has like all the answers of life in it, just in this silly, funny comedy about this family on a cross-country road trip. And so that deserves its own podcast. But the point is that I
Oh
fell
no,
in
keep going with your
love.
point. But yeah,
But
we're
I
coming
just
back to that point. But keep
That's
going.
just the point, is that I just fell in love with the first film, and it made me fall in love with the family, and it made me fall in love with the franchise.
Okay. Now I'm going to say that because you brought it to that level where you just
Yeah.
said it's not about the destination, it's about the journey. Now,
Yeah.
this is what I'm going to tell you about John Hughes. Trains, planes, and automobiles. You never see Thanksgiving dinner. It's all about the journey. Home Alone. You never see Christmas morning people opening presents. It's all about the journey. Christmas Vacation. You never see Christmas morning. It's all about the journey. John Hughes wrote all of those. It's never about the destination. His whole theme of his entire career is it's all the journey. And it's a very religious type of thing of like, when I look
Yes.
back and I see who was walking here and there, who was holding me, it's all the journey. And that's
Yes.
his, as a directorial storyteller, that's his entirety of his entire theme. It's all the journey. And I think it's most apt in Trains, Planes, and Automobiles.
Okay.
I love that thing because that is the worst journey you could ever take. And by the end of that journey, you love the journey, and
Right.
you've realized that this person that has been there throughout this entire journey with you is now gonna be the best friend that you could ever have for the rest of your life.
Yeah, exactly.
And you take him into your home, and it's just the ending of that is beautiful.
Yeah. John Hughes is a genius at that. And you're right. That's the relationship you have with his movies. I mean, he's one of the greatest screenwriters of all time. And you're right.
Dude, the
His
guy wrote
movies
The
are like,
Breakfast Club in, like, fucking 24 hours. Like, he literally went upstairs, they were writing something else, and then he, like I forget, he smoked up or did some cocaine, and, like, the guy was just like, I don't know how we're gonna do this," and he goes like, "Leave me alone." He went upstairs and literally in 24 hours wrote the entire fucking Breakfast Club, and then comes back down, he's like, "Yeah, there it is, fucking done. I'm fucking passing out." Like, the
is that
creative
a really a true
genius
story? Is
that's
that a true
the
story?
true story that I saw on, like, a Breakfast Club DVD special feature, whatever the
Okay.
fuck. Somebody else lied, and it's wrong. But
Okay.
I've seen that story on an actual disc, not the internet.
All right. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, he's one of the best ever, and yeah, exactly. That's the quality his movies have. They all have layers. They all have like this, metaphorical level to them. And I'm really excited to talk about Home Alone later. Today we're talking about this movie, but Home Alone has that, I think. I'd like to have a deeper reading of that movie when we
Are we
talk
doing that
about
next
it.
week? No, a week after? When are we doing Home
Yeah,
Alone?
that's not my next pick, it's the pick after, so it'll
You
come up at
bumped
the
it.
end of the season. Yeah, it's my, like, close to Christmas pick. Yeah.
Okay, okay.
So, but yeah, the first movie has that exactly. The first vacation movie has that. It feels like it's like a deep movie, metaphor for life, and it's really beautiful. It has all these life lessons into it, and you love the characters, and it's like John Hughes is a genius at that. And so, yeah, it's like, you inspired me to go and watch those movies, and I had never seen them, so it, like, filled in this gap where I realized I love John Hughes, I love the period, I relate, to the life experience, it was similar to my childhood, and I ended up loving the first movie so much, I immediately started the next one. I was like, "Okay, European Vacation, now they go to
Here
Europe."
we go.
Yeah, I'm like, "What's next?"
What's your take? What's your take on this? One of the greatest covers of all time, I'll have to say. The drawn cover of this
Oh,
is
I've never
brilliant.
seen that. What is
Oh,
that? Let me see.
Google it right now. Get this. It's as if it's like He-Man Masters of the Universe.
Oh, yes, I know it. Yes, I saw it. It's you're right. It's the great. In fact, you know what? It's so good. I actually did see that, and I thought I might get a poster of that. I might actually put that on the
It's
wall.
it's brilliant.
Yeah,
It's
it's
right
great.
up there with the
Yeah,
greatest '80s posters of all time. And
yeah.
it typifies, like, the comedy that they're going for because they're like, it's the mid-80s. What is there? There's He-Man Masters of the Universe, hold your hand up, like, do this type of stuff,
Right.
overblow it, and it's like, it's just a small comedic little American family going to Europe, but let's bring it to this epic fucking proportion level.
But it's like so brilliantly essentially summarizes the tone of the movies because the joke is that Clark, the husband and the father, he is trying to be that larger than life hero, right?
He's trying to be
Yes.
Superman. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. And yet the reality, the like snap to reality, that's the joke of it. Yeah.
The
Um
Eminem of it.
what? What is that?
Snap
Snap
back to
back to
reality.
reality.
Oh,
Up
here
there
comes
goes
Greg.
gravity. Up there goes Griswoldy. Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, tell me more about your journey. Tell me more about your journey.
I loved National Lampoon's European Vacation. Loved it.
Wow.
Yeah, loved that one too. I watched that. Now I already love the Griswolds. Now, of course, they recast the son and the daughter. So now
Which
I'm
they
really,
do. Yeah,
yeah.
that's like the running joke where it's just like they're disposable.
Yeah, so then I was learning, like, okay, how does this franchise function? And it's like, oh, okay, I see. I have to kind of roll with it. It's a different son and daughter, but it's the 80s. I thought in the second one it kind of worked because I thought they were close enough. It's like the son actor they cast kind of looks like Anthony Michael Hall, maybe just
Yeah,
a little bit older.
he's now like 6 feet
Yeah,
tall. The daughter's like 3
right.
feet tall, and then in Christmas, it's just like swap that, fuck it, strike that, reverse it.
That's the one of the weirdest things about the third one is that they reverse the ages. The whole time the son has been the older child. And then in the third movie, it's like boom, they bump it and all of a sudden the daughter's older and the son is younger. It's really weird. So and again, it's two different actors.
Russ and Audrey.
So the two kids change every time. Same names, Russ and Audrey, but played by different actors, and they're all different ages. So that was an interesting element of this particular franchise, I guess. Along the way, all the filmmakers in the studio, they just felt like, you know what, that's not important. Like the husband and wife are the same. It's the Griswold family.
No, yeah, they did, and I always had that going up throughout it. I just always knew, like, after I saw it like that one, I was just like, oh, all bets are off when it comes to them. It's only Chevy and Beverly. I was just like, that's it. They're the through line for these.
Yeah. This episode of Light Up the Dark is brought to you by GriswoldGear.com, the world's leading supplier of holiday survival gear for families on the brink of disaster. Introducing our new Sparky Survival Kit. Inside every kit, you'll find industrial strength exterior lights, guaranteed not to knock out the power grid, blind your neighbors, or cause the local utility company to panic. A fireproof turkey thermometer for when you want a holiday meal that doesn't explode into dust the moment you cut into it. And our patented squirrel early warning system, because nothing ruins a peaceful mountain getaway like a screaming rodent launching out of your Christmas tree. All packaged inside our collectible Cousin Eddie canvas tote, which may or may not smell like propane. Perfect for anyone like me who begins their trip as a Griswold skeptic and comes down the mountain the other side as a full-fledged fifth member of the Griswold family. Order your Sparky Survival Kit today at GriswoldGear.com. That's GriswoldGear.com, and use promo code Andrew and Greg to get 10% off your first Sparky Survival Kit. He did it. GriswoldGear.com, helping you survive the holidays one bad decision at a time.
Now, just to throw in this, I learned this today. Sorry, because this was a big thing that I just learned like today when I was like, all right, because I know Christmas so well. I was like, let me just look up like a few things about it or whatever. I've never been a big fan of The Big Bang Theory. Like I've never really watched it.
Right.
I had no idea that Russ was that guy who I've seen a million times in The Big Bang Theory, just like not even a fan of the show, but you just know the show. And I'm like, oh, he's the guy with the round head. I'm just like, he's that guy who's got the round head and he's in that show. And I'm assuming it's a great show. Everyone loves the show. I just never sat down and watched it. I just saw it from a purview going like, that must be a great one. But anyway, what I'm saying is the kid with the round head, I had no idea was, the little kid that I love from fucking Christmas Vacation. I had no idea that he was in this.
Yeah.
Until today. I'm saying this when it hit me, I would go, you're the kid who just drops the reindeer and they smash on the ground, you walk away.
Yeah. Big Bang Theory is actually my favorite sitcom. I love Big Bang Theory.
So did you immediately know that this was him when you saw him in the back of the car? Like at the beginning, you just said, that's him.
Here's what happened. Hazel and I actually watch Big Bang Theory every day. Like every night at dinner, we turn on one episode.
Is this the reason she watched 30 minutes of this? Is this the reason she watched 30 minutes? Because she goes, that's him?
So here's what happened. So the opening scene in the car, I couldn't see the kid that well. So I didn't notice him.
Backseat.
When they cut to the mall and they give him a close-up and he walks up to the counter.
Oh, you didn't know till the mall.
Yeah. And they give him a close-up and I paused it and I turned to Hazel. I was like, oh my God, you know who that is? She's like, who?
It's Galecki or whatever the fuck his name is.
Johnny Galecki. I go, that's Leonard from Big Bang Theory as a kid. And Hazel goes, oh my God, you're right. Yeah.
So you took this from a possibly 4.5 phone Hazel down to maybe a 3 to 3.5 phone Hazel just by that.
It is, yeah. I do think when he was on screen, it was kind of funny for her to watch. Yeah, because she's like, "Oh, this is actually funny." We know him as an adult.
His timing, I thought was great and fantastic in this. I only recently also learned that I watched a behind the scenes on this one that Chevy, who I've heard terrible things about Chevy from people who didn't like him. Like he's a terrible person. He's not fun to work with. He's a horrible this and that. But from the
I haven't heard.
I don't want to say his name wrong again. Galecki. What is it? What is
His name's Johnny Galecki, the actor.
Galecki. From what was reported by him, he said, I was kind of not doing certain things right, and then he kind of took me under his wing a little bit here and told me, hey, here's how to hit comedic beats. Here's how to do this. And then apparently Ghostbusters 2 was being shot at the same time, which is also funny because the brother aspect of that with who's Clark Griswold's boss in this?
Oh gosh, I don't know the actor's name. It's the same guy who plays the the mayor of the town in Groundhog Day,
Groundhog Day,
Punxsutawney.
right?
Yeah.
Brothers with Ghostbusters.
I don't know. I don't know. I don't know.
Who's
no,
the
I don't know
same
the
guy who's
connection.
in Ghostbusters and in
Oh, Harold Ramis? You talking about Harold Ramis?
no.
What are you talking about?
Who's Venkman? Venkman. That's his brother in real
Oh,
life.
Bill Murray.
Bill Murray. This is Bill Murray's brother.
That's Bill Murray's brother?
Yeah.
I never knew that.
That's why he's in Groundhog Day.
Brian Doyle Murray.
Murray. There you go.
Dude.
So the two of them are brothers.
Can I tell you something? In all my years, I never knew that. I never knew they were brothers.
Interesting. Well,
now I can see it.
Here's another one. What about Dennis Quaid and Randy Quaid? You know
that
them,
one,
right?
That one I knew. Yes, that one.
Okay,
I knew.
okay.
This,
That's what I was going to see if I could double blow your mind with this. Got it. Okay.
That one I knew, but this Murray, you're
that
right.
one's
but
more
now that I look at
unbelievable,
him,
though. That one's more unbelievable. You have to say Dennis Quaid and Randy Quaid. I mean, that's more unbelievable. Physically, that's more unbelievable.
Physically, yes, they look more different. Yes,
right. I mean, obviously, Randy Quaid is obviously got the genes on that one, on that family. You know, Dennis, I mean, I feel bad for the guy.
This now that I see it though, Brian Doyle Murray, I get the Bill Murray-ness. Yes, I see that Murray family kind of charisma that they both have.
Right. So, just to
interesting.
finish the aspect that he brought him over there to like meet Bill Murray and watch him do Ghostbusters 2 and say like, hey, watch the comedic timing, watch what they're doing. He took the kid under his wing to go like, you know, if this movie's going to be good and for the benefit of the kid, I'm assuming, but like, hey, a lot of scenes play off between, you know, Russ and the father in this. There needs to be a good back and forth here. We also haven't even mentioned Elaine living in the next door yet, that was the building, that was Murtaugh's house in Lethal Weapon 2.
Oh,
that's the one where the toilet seat blew up. That was Elaine's house over there. They said when they showed up to make this movie, the toilet was still sitting in the front lawn because this is the back lot of fucking Universal or whatever. So they like Lethal Weapon 2 had just completed, and then they had to bring this in and put in all the fake snow.
Okay. What was RoboCop? What was the cop's name in RoboCop? Was it
Murphy?
Murphy. Okay, yeah, Murphy. Right, no, Murtaugh. You said Murtaugh. I was like, is that RoboCop?
Oh, Murtaugh. No. Yeah,
Lethal Weapon.
Yeah, I went to Lethal Weapon. Oh, are you not a Lethal Weapon fan?
No, I haven't rewatched. I saw them all one time when I was a teenager. Haven't rewatched them. Yeah.
So you've seen 1, 2, 3, 4.
I've seen them all, but only once each. Yeah. When I was like 20 years ago. So yeah.
Okay, I've watched 2 maybe 15 times.
Okay.
3, 8. I've watched 1 maybe 7. Yeah, I've watched those a good amount. 4 less.
Right. Yeah.
But I was really I was opening day theater of 4.
Yeah. I thought that the casting of the kid, by the way, I don't have an issue with like the actors, like who they cast and how good the actors are. Juliette Lewis, right? The 2 kids. Yeah, they're both great.
All the old people, the in-laws when they come over, each one of those.
And then you get all the family members.
Aunt Bethany is the voice of Betty Boop. That's Aunt Bethany.
Okay. Yeah.
Remember, don't throw me down, Clark.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know.
I'll try not to, Aunt Bethany. So she's May something. And she's also the voice of Olive Oil in Popeye. Like she was a cartoon character from like the fucking 30s.
Yes, this woman. Yes. The right.
Yeah, don't throw me down, Clark.
I see. The aunt who forgets everything. Right.
Yes, Aunt Bethany. Yes. Now, just rewatch it again for the reason that, dude, it's the funniest. It's one of the funniest things that I've ever seen. He's walking her up the stairs, entering the house, and just out of the blue, she says, "Don't throw me down, Clark." Like, where would that enter anyone's head?
Right.
And then his response to that is, "I'll try not to, Aunt Bethany."
Yeah.
Like, as if this was a thought process that would have entered his brain, is that like, I'm gonna get you to the steps and I'm gonna throw you to the ground. Don't throw me down, Clark.
I liked the part when he got locked in the attic and he watched the old film reels of the family, right? And it was like he's crying and it's kind of nostalgic and they're playing the music. And then there's the funny little moment where the dad smacks him or like grabs something from him, or he tries to touch the present or something and dad smacks him. And it's like you get that little like, the reality cracks in there. And I thought that was actually really funny because it was like charming. It's like, okay, yeah, you remember it, with tears over your eyes, but you don't remember all the little details like that.
It's one of my favorite scenes in the entire
Oh,
film. I'll have to say,
yeah.
because now that you brought it up, I have to talk about it.
Okay, yeah, of course, of course.
He gets locked in this very cold attic. Him putting his head out, watching the family go away, and he's trying to scream for them, and then he can't, and then he's just up there going like, "I gotta get warm." Now, he breaks through the top, his feet fall through, and I love the hands go like this, and he tries to warm himself a little bit. Now, he could just ruin the rest of that thing and just climb through the bottom there. But what he
Right.
decides to do is not do that. And he goes, "Okay, let me wrap myself up. Let me find this." And he pulls out an 8 millimeter film, and he also has 16 millimeter film in that same box that he's holding up. So you get to see that he has all these memories, because
Right.
Clark, as I've said, is the guy trying to hold it together and trying to pass these memories on, which again comes to the great conversation that he has with his father later on in this when he passes the torch. But he's up there and he's watching these back, and you're 100% right. We get to see that those memories that he's holding on to were not as perfectly pure, but we're hearing this fantastic, Christmas music. "These are the times, da, 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 da," and he's sitting there and he's taking a walk through the night. And he's getting glossy eyed and holding on to this thing. And we start looking at that going like, wow, this is not like a comedy movie. Like we're really starting to feel a little bit of something. Like we're getting this great thing. And right when you get to that moment, it's cut with Beverly D'Angelo going like coming in and pulling at the thing and yanks it down and then completely falls through the ceiling, and I remember watching that as a kid also as a special effect. Right? I didn't do it now when I rewatched it, but I remember watching it as a kid going, wow, it fell through the ceiling. And I had on VHS the little they called it tracking or whatever. You can
Right.
kind of go frame by frame, and it would go tick 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 tick. And I remember when it cut to behind it, and again, I'm remembering this from memory, so I haven't seen it in years in frame by frame way. When they cut to behind that shot of him falling down, it is legitimately just like shit placed on top of each other with a scarf, and it's just stuff. It's not even a human. It's just like stuff. The first frame of it is stuff, and then
Oh,
the rest
okay.
is just motion blur of falling. So I'm saying
I see. I
go
see.
back and watch it. When you look at it, it's like 5 boxes with a scarf over it for one unblurred frame, and the rest like 3 or 4 frames is just completely blurred. And it's a great thing to see if I was correct. My little Gregory memory from being like 12 on VHS tracking, watching this over and over. But
Okay.
it's again one of those moments where I used to just die of laughter.
Okay, yeah. Sorry, I was checking it. I have a bunch of
Yeah, no,
stuff.
go for it. Go. And I want to see.
Oh,
I want
okay,
to see
yeah.
if I was right.
I have things I could say, but here, let's see. Yeah, I'm gonna take it to that scene.
2.0. This is 2.0.
Right. Okay, I take it to that scene. Where is that part?
It's about 38 minutes, 42, somewhere around there. I'm
Oh
guessing
yeah, it's
right
actually
now.
pretty far into it. It's actually 30 minutes into the movie. Okay, yeah, pretty far. It's the whole first act goes by.
Yeah,
Let's
it's
see.
after
Oh yeah, here we
Hazel
go.
left,
Yeah,
definitely.
he's piling clothes on top of himself. He's wearing whatever he can. His aunt's old fur coat.
It
Oh
cuts to the
yeah, yeah. The music's
behind the
great.
shot.
Yeah. Um, did he fall through? Here, let me see.
Freeze frame
Oh, here we
right
go. Here we go.
before
Got
her
it.
hand her
Got it.
hand's reaching. Her hand's
Got it.
reaching. The frame before her hand starts to pull.
For which front? No, it doesn't look like there's any. I don't know which part you're talking about.
Right before it falls out. It looks like a human
right
being
before
from behind.
right before it's him falling through the ceiling,
Right,
right?
him
That's what you're
falling
talking
through.
about? Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
No,
yeah.
actually, it just shows his feet. It's just feet.
No, it's a behind the it's a I'm remembering this wrong then. Is it
Yeah.
it's a behind shot
Let me see. He's
of
standing there. He warms his hand. It cuts to his feet.
No, not that, not at that. When
Not
he's
that part.
watching the VHS, you have to go
Oh,
like
when
2
he's
minutes ahead.
watching. Oh, okay.
When he's
When
watching,
he's
Beverly
watching it.
D'Angelo grabs a key ring and pulls
Oh.
down, and that's when Clark falls through the second time.
Oh, there's a second fall.
Yes, this is how the scene ends.
Oh,
Beverly
let me
D'Angelo.
see. Oh, yes. Got it. Got it. Got that part. Okay,
Yes.
here we go. Got it. Okay. You're right. She comes up the stairs. Yeah, yeah.
Yes, it's
Okay.
intercut.
Got it. Now
and
she
then
pulls
right when she
on
pulls,
the-
watch
yep.
the frame before she pulls. I want to see if little Gregory's
Oh,
12-year-old
yeah. I
brain was
see what you
right.
mean. I see what you mean. Yep. They cut to him falling down back into the house, and for a split second,
Does it look like a bunch of boxes with a towel on his head?
yeah, it looks like just a dummy with
It's not
clothes
a
on
human
top of it.
being.
Yeah, it just looks like a
Yeah.
body shape with clothes, and it's almost like falls apart like a snowman. Or
It completely falls apart.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
But when you watch it in fast motion, it's perfect.
Right,
It's
right. Yeah,
because
you can't tell.
they cut right on the frame. It's like one frame of unblur and everything else is blur. There's like 4 frames of falling, and you just
Right, and the-
it's just a great comedic moment.
Yeah.
Can you send me a
yeah.
screenshot of that? I want to see
Oh,
exactly what it
gosh.
looks like.
I have it on HBO Max, so I think
mean,
if
you
take
don't
a
have to do it right
screenshot-
now.
No, I
You
think
don't
if
have
I
to do
take
it
a
right now.
screenshot, I don't think they allow you. I think it takes.
Oh,
like,
they do the
black. I
same
think
thing
it-
as Netflix. It's
I
all
thi-
black.
Yeah, I think so. I think so.
Okay,
Um,
I'll
well-
bleep this. I'll rip it and I'll find it. Yeah. I
Well,
own
let
it
me-
on DVD and VHS and like you don't come after me. I
Well,
paid the money to this movie.
This episode of Light Up the Dark is brought to you by Movie Map, the new app that saves you when your friend recommends the third movie in a franchise and you suddenly realize you haven't even seen the first 2. Studios don't use numbers anymore. Now every sequel is called Dawn, Rise, The Fall of, Reborn, Resurgence, Reckoning, The Final Reckoning, Resurrection, Aftermath, Genesis, Annihilation, Extinction, Uprising, Legacy, Origins, The Beginning, The Return, The Fall of. Oh wait, I said that one already. You see, that's exactly my point. No one can keep these movies straight anymore. So when your friend says, oh, just watch the Christmas one, it totally makes sense on its own, and you press play, and you immediately feel like you've walked into season 4 of a show you've never seen. Movie Map is there for you. Just type in the movie your friend says is the best one, and Movie Map instantly unlocks the entire franchise in the actual correct order. With Movie Map, you get star-studded features like Back to One. One click, one way to start. The Back to One feature begins at the beginning, where characters are introduced and stakes are established. Guaranteed to make you like the characters more by the time you reach the bizarre Christmas one that has slowly shifted the tone on you like a frog in boiling water. Oh, here's another great feature. Auto skip the garbage sequel. Let's be honest, every franchise has one. With Auto Skip, Movie Map quietly removes the worst film in any series, so you don't waste 2 hours watching something that contributes nothing to the overall arc. I'm looking at you, Twilight Saga Eclipse. Okay, here's Hazel's favorite feature, the Baby Lock for maximum chronology. Are you bored during movie 2's random flashback sequence? Maybe you're thinking, oh, skip ahead to the good stuff. Not with Baby Lock. Movie Map will save you from yourself by locking down the fast forward and next movie buttons so you can't skip ahead, forcing you to watch the entire franchise in perfect chronological order. Trust us, you'll thank us later. Download Movie Map today and avoid those chaotic movie recommendations from your friends, the ones that make you hate the franchise so much you start rooting for the villain just to wrap things up faster. That's Movie Map. And remember to use promo code Andrew and Greg for an extended free trial. That's 1 month of Movie Map for free. Movie Map, because your friends don't always care if you've seen the first one.
So let me tell you what happened to me then, just because I'll tie it back into what you're saying, because I agree with you. When you find out more about the Griswold family, when you learn more about Clark, you learn about his parents, you see his relatives, you spend more time with him. It's different. It's a different type of experience, because my experience was I tried watching them in order. I watched the first one, I watched the second one. I loved both. I now love the Griswold family. Now I turn on the third movie and I learn, oh, we're not going on vacation with this family. We're not going on a, traveling trip. We're now staying home with them. I now get to see Clark Griswold's job. I get to see his boss. I get to see what his home life is like. I get to meet his parents. I get to see a little glimpse of his childhood. This
And
is
all
all
the other
stuff.
parents and everyone else, they're taking a vacation to come see him.
That's right. That's the vacation. Is he's hosting the vacation. So it has a little bit of a
He
different
is the
quality.
vacation.
He is the vacation. Nice. This time he
This
is
time.
the vacation.
Clark is the vacation.
So, it has a little bit of a different style, this one. And, there is a part of it that's more stagnant. It's a little more, the coolness of the first two movies and even Vegas Vacation, which, by the way, I actually also loved Vegas Vacation. I like them all, by the way. I'm now just a fan of the Vacation franchise. I like all the movies.
Which is
And
your
I was-
favorite? Which is your favorite?
I
Gun to head.
mean, I gotta go first one. Just the
Yeah,
first.
you
The
do.
first
Of
one I
course
just
you-
thought
of
was the
course
first one
you
I just thought
do.
was genius.
I
just
know.
love the first one.
Everyone does.
Yeah,
I know.
Sorry.
Well, that might really bode well for A Christmas Story. And I'll have to say that.
Okay. But I was just I think I was saying that, by the third one though, you realize that kind of stagnant quality where they stay home, they're not constantly on the move. I liked when they're constantly on the move. I like the first two because it's like we're always jumping to the next location. So it feels very fast paced. And this one doesn't have that. This one is like the whole time we're almost just in the house for the whole movie, really. And, there's a few scenes where you're at work and the opening is them on the road picking their Christmas tree, and that was a little bit tricky too, I thought, where it actually opens and they're driving at the beginning of the movie and then they go home and then they never leave really from that point on. So it's almost like
Yeah.
you tease me with the Griswolds are on the road again, but then no, actually they're just getting a tree and bringing it back home. Right.
Yeah.
So you kind of have to get used to that. But the reason I mention this is because it actually helps to slow it down where it becomes like a longer story. It becomes like a sitcom, like Big Bang Theory or something, where you actually get to spend time with this family and you learn more about them. And so now that I've seen all the other films, when I go back and I watch Christmas Vacation a second time, and I will tell you, I liked it way more the second time. And I feel like the second time I get it because now I love the Griswold family. I'm watching this movie and I'm learning about them. And now I'm like, oh, okay. I see. The third one, the Christmas Vacation, is the one that's the most different. And it's the one that I think goes the deepest and has, in a way, it actually has the most heart on the surface, which is a kind of weird way to
100%.
put it. Yeah, it's a
No,
weird way to put
100%.
it because it's because it's a Christmas movie, I think. Yeah.
Can I tell you why too? It's because it's what you already mentioned, like the Christmas 58 that John Hughes had written was written prior to the vacation movies becoming the vacation movies in this type of way, at least from what I remember. So they threw it back and they go, oh, we've done these two. They're great. Hey, John Hughes. And he didn't want to be a part of this third one. But they said, hey, the Christmas 58. So he wrote that. And he wrote it again, meaning from like the short story or whatever that he'd written in whatever thing that he'd done in the past, and kind of adapted it to this. But he kept all of that heart and all of that soul that is not specifically related to this. It was about, here is what it was like in Christmas of 58. Here was a family. It's almost a Christmas Story aspect to it that he was trying to do. And here's the heart and the soul of passing down Christmas and doing this and that. And it perfectly aligns with exactly what you're saying. I think it's not the one that aligns within this series exactly well. They don't go on vacation. They don't do this. They don't do that. But he was able to then move around and jigger and adapt. How do the Griswolds relate within this Christmas 58? And what do I want to say within here? And how do I still be me? And within that, that's why I love this as being like the redheaded stepchild of the series. When you look at the series, you go, this one sticks out. This one's different. And I just love the difference of it. I get that there wouldn't be this without the others, but it's my most easily accessible one. And I'll just quickly go into that, the thing about the passing down, because I love watching movies like this that I watched as a kid and not getting jokes. You know, when you watch something later and you didn't get the joke, when the father when he looks at his father and he goes, "Oh, do you want to read The Night Before Christmas?" And he goes, "No, that's yours now," or whatever. And right before that, he goes, "Yeah, how did you hold it together?" Because you can see like Clark is, going nuts, and this is after the greatest fucking breakdown of all time. Holy shit, where's the fucking Tylenol? Like the 90-second screaming, like whatever. We can go into that if we want to, but that is one of the greatest comedic bits of all time. And then, his father comes to him in a great way of just like, you're having a fucking goddamn meltdown here. And he's like, "Yeah, I can't do it." And he's like, "Dad, how did you do it?" And he goes, "I had a lot
Right.
of help from Jack Daniels." And now I love knowing that I watched this when I was 5. And I remember going like, "Wow, he must have had a really good friend, who like lived up the block and his name was Jack." And I go, "That's interesting that they just threw in like Jack
Okay.
was his friend." Like I was so naive to the
Right.
fact of anything. He's going and I was going like, "Oh wow, it must be some inside joke between them. Jack must have been a great friend, to
Yeah.
him." And like I love watching things like that where you watched it so young that you totally didn't get it. And you watched it enough that it just went by you.
That's
And then,
awesome.
obviously by the time I was like 12, 13, like I got the joke, but I remember watching it so young where I had zero clue about what the fuck he was talking about.
Yeah. This one keeps it family friendly. This one cuts away. Once it gets to the part where there might be nudity, they cut away. All the other movies do have nudity in them. So this one's the family friendly.
Oh,
This is
you're
the one.
right.
Yeah. This is the one where you can watch it with the kids. I think it's meant to be watched as a family as well. So they keep
Yeah,
it
I don't like when they fuck with Christmas. Don't fuck with Christmas.
right, right. Yeah. So they
Leave
keep
that
it
leave
PG.
that alone.
So a joke like that is one of those jokes.
That's
It's
why I
like,
didn't like Bad Santa. Don't don't
okay,
don't
yeah,
fuck with
yeah.
Christmas.
It's like Pixar, Disney does this where they put in a joke where they know only the adults will get it, and so it's one of those jokes. So it's like the adults will be like, "Oh, that's funny," and the kids, "That's great that you didn't even know as a kid. I love that."
Yeah, they teetered on it. I'll have to say, John Hughes teetered on it with Home Alone. It didn't make me feel good when he goes,
Oh.
"I know you're not Santa," and the guy gives him the
Oh,
Tic
oh,
Tac, but then he
right,
goes,
right,
"But I
right.
also know
Well,
that you work for him." So he
right.
gave him that, but I didn't like that little, "I know you're not Santa," and I went, "No!" And then he goes, "But I also know that you work for him." But I was like, "Okay, okay, you
Right.
save yourself. You save yourself. You do it quickly there, but I don't." It's the one thing. It's like, don't shoot a dog in a movie. Don't do this. I was like, don't fuck with Christmas.
And don't say that Santa Claus is not real. Yeah.
We're ending this podcast right now. Take it
Yeah.
back.
In that scene, I think it works because that guy, the actor they cast, is so clearly not Santa, like he's
You
really
have to.
young and
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah. So,
You already fucked up by casting him.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah. You have to call it out.
I think that your point about the whole family thing with the Christmas Vacation, how Clark he's trying to pass down the traditions of the Griswold family to his kids. And I think that's such a great observation because on first watch, I just thought this is just a wacky, kind of silly Christmas movie about a family. And after I watch all the other movies and I start to see the connections and I like the Griswolds and I understand Clark and where he's coming from, he's always trying to give his family a good experience.
Always. Dude,
He's
he's like,
yes.
no, no, no. We're all in this together. This is going to be a good old fashioned family. Like, he's really trying to hold this fucking shit together and he's trying to give them, the this is the great thing that you pointed out. He's trying to give them the ideal experience that he thought he had, but you just pointed out within the 8 millimeter camera that he's fucking watching, it wasn't that great. He's idealizing it, which is a great thing about him, and that's the great thing that Beverly D'Angelo points out about him. You idealize shit, you blow it out of proportion, you do this, which I think is a great aspect to a human being. If you're going to look at life and you're going to try to raise kids or do something else, at least try to look at it as through rose-colored glasses and give them a great experience and try to hype them up. What is it to do the opposite is just go, life sucks. Fuck you. This is the worst thing ever. He's the most, hey, grab life by the seat of your pants. Let's do this. And they don't get to see the side of him that has to bow his shoulders over in front of his boss. You know what I mean? Like he puts on that face and he plays the man who's going to come home to his family and be the good husband, be the good father, be the good kids. Like it's really that aspect of the movie. I think as a guy you can really relate to, and I think as a female watching it, you can really look and go like, well, those are the qualities that I would like to have within a husband. Somebody who does something like that, somebody who doesn't
Right.
give up, somebody who sits there and fights for the family. Like it's wholesome when it comes to that.
Yeah, exactly. I told Hazel later, I said, when you watch all the movies in order and you meet them from the very first film, you realize that Clark is actually very charming. He's actually a really cool guy. He has this kind of swagger. He's very smart, he's very personable, he's very outgoing. He has a fairly high level job. He might not be the CEO of the company, but he's making a good living. He supports multiple kids. He lives in a nice neighborhood. He's able to buy a swimming pool, kind of. He gets it. He
Kind
gets it.
of, because
Yeah, he
that
gets it in the
I
end,
like that
right?
vulnerability though. You get
Yeah.
those scenes of him where he's just like kind of a bitch at the office, like, "Hey, I'm doing this. What's your name again? Oh, get out of the room. Oh, get me somebody. Anybody. Well, get me somebody while I'm waiting. Like,
Yeah.
who the fuck is this guy?" Like those vulnerable aspects you get to see as he tries to blow them off. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt on that, but I like seeing that he's not the greatest guy there. He might be, but he's underappreciated within what he does.
Yeah, I think underappreciated is a great word because I even think, Hazel's reaction was a little bit jumping to a judgment because, she met him in the third one when he's already a little goofier, he's a little older. But when I saw him in the first one, I thought, he's romancing his wife, they still have the spark very much alive. And he
Sparky.
and Sparky, exactly, that's his nickname. So yeah, he keeps the spark alive, and I love that about them, and that's why I fell in love with them as a married couple. And I think what I realized watching them all the way through is even by the third one that spark is still there. And so, when you know
Yes.
the family already, you realize actually he's a really great guy and he's just doing his best. Like one of my favorite lines in the movie, in fact, maybe my number one favorite line, not as a joke, my number one non-joke, was when the friend, the coworker at Clark's job, he says, "You might be the last real family man," or he calls him like the last true family man.
Yeah, he's the
Yeah.
actor from Raising Arizona. I know exactly
Yeah.
who you're talking
Yeah.
about.
Yeah, and I just love that line. I thought, what a great way to define Clark. It's
He
like,
goes, "I might be in it up to here," and he taps the little, fake pool that they must have
yeah,
given out in some sort of if you wanna sell a pool, give them a little pool to put on their desk. I don't know what that was, I've never seen it before, but
yeah. So, he's a true family man. He loves his family. He's always trying to give them the best. And
he is
I
when he
could
when he thinks
imagine,
when he thinks
yeah,
he got the money, "I'm gonna give you all a vacation, we're all going like, he's bringing
because he,
Eddie,
yeah,
everyone down there, like, he does want to have that thing, and he's doing it as a selfless act. He's not going, "I'm the big Brad Brosh guy who's gonna fucking do this." He's like, "Oh, I wanna share this. I want you all to share in this. I want everyone to be happy."
exactly. He wants to benefit the community. He's like a truly good guy because he wants to work, earn money, but not for himself. He doesn't go buy a bunch of sports cars. He buys a swimming pool for his family to enjoy as a group. He wants to create that communal connection. That's always what he's trying to do. So there's something just incredibly likable and relatable about that. And that's all through the third movie. And what I realized is in the Christmas movie, they don't go on a trip, but the structure of the movies is intact, which is that Clark is trying to give his family an experience. It slowly breaks down. Everybody doesn't want to have the experience, and everybody else gives up on it. And he's the only one saying, "No, everybody, we're going to do this. We're going to keep it together." And he's the glue that holds everything together. And it always works. And whether it's he has to hold someone at gunpoint and take them on a roller coaster, or whether his brother, brings the boss, kidnaps the boss and brings him to the house, no matter what, it always actually works. And by the end of all the movies, Clark has given the experience that he wanted to his family, and he's doing it for their benefit. And
Can
so
we
I
say
love that.
this? Can
Yeah.
we say this? He is the real life Superman, and his
Mhm.
name is Clark. Can we go there? Can we tie this back?
Wow.
Can we do it? Can we do it? This is the real life manifestation of what it's like to be the modern day Superman. Can we do it?
I love that. I love that. And weirdly, in the fourth movie, they say that Clark's former football number was 44. And you know what? My dad used to wear the number 44. Isn't
And there's
that
the
weird?
opening of the podcast. That's if that doesn't tease people enough to listen to the rest of this, I don't know what else will.
Yeah. I mean, I weirdly related so strongly to this family. They're so much like my family. I thought Clark is basically like my dad, just dialed up to like a comedy level, but he's so similar to my dad. My dad also works at a corporate office, exactly like Clark, company, not the top guy, but he like earns a good living. And he's been a corporate guy
And he
his
makes
whole life.
non-nuclear cereal varnish that makes
Yep.
when you dip your Cheerios in there, it makes sure they don't get soggy.
He brings crazy stuff home that the family tests out all the time. And
Did you get to go flying down a hill at Mach 7?
you know what I was thinking during that scene? I was like, you don't need the extra like greaser. Like it already goes fast enough. Like you could just enjoy that on your own. But of course, it's a comedy scene, so
Dude,
Yeah.
it's one of the funniest things is the fact that they like to do that thing, like laying down 800 feet of just like spark it, like because it's like hang 10, boy, let her rip. Like it's so comedic. And then it becomes so silly with the rear screen projection. Like it's
Right.
just like we're just letting it all go here. Like it's
Yeah.
I love that sequence it's so dumb that it's absolutely brilliant.
What I realized about the whole movie, especially the third one, I thought they all are cartoony, but I loved how the third one opened with an actual cartoon animated sequence, and then
And
it
I
goes
love how you
into
just
the
refer to
film.
this as the third one. It is, but it's
It
just
is the
so
third
funny to
one,
me
yeah.
that you just go, "This is the third one. This is the
Well,
third."
'cause
Because
for
to
me,
me, it's just like to me, it's like this is Christmas Vacation is the whole reason for the whole series. I get the first. I 100% get the first. Europe, you get kind of given me a newfound perspective. I'm gonna go rewatch. I haven't watched that in over 20 years. It's been over 20 years. Wally World, I know. I love John Candy, so I'm gonna,
Yep.
watch the movie. I'm gonna get to the end with, I'm gonna
Yeah.
say it. I
Yeah.
got Christy Brinkley, of course. I mean, Tawny. I mean, forget about it. Of course, I'm gonna watch it. But
She's the Tawny of that movie.
she's she's definitely the Tawny of that one. But like I never in my brain go, this is the third one. Because also, like, you have to
Okay.
imagine how much I loved this, and then they go, Vacation's coming out, and Vacation is also, Russ in that, correct me if I'm wrong, but he's Can't Hardly Wait.
Yes, in the fourth one, yeah.
Right.
Yeah, that's right.
So I
yeah.
really I loved Can't Hardly Wait. Jennifer Love Hewitt,
Yeah.
forget about Tawny in that as well.
Totally.
Tawny just
Wow.
goes from movie to movie.
She's
so
even
that's
more than she's like Tawny plus. She's like
she's Tawny 2.0. Yeah,
Yeah.
She's forget about it. That was my like, oh, I'm not gay. I mean, that was like one of those where I'm just like, okay.
You
yeah,
learned
they-
Jennifer Love Hewitt taught you something about yourself, didn't she? Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, so did Pam Anderson. I mean, a lot of them taught me a lot of it, but she was just like, oh no, I could fall in love with somebody on a two-dimensional screen that's on a movie, and I was just like, oh, JLH, hold on, who are you?
Yeah.
Like, I had my crushes. I had Anna Kolumsky from My Girl. I was like, oh, very,
okay,
very, I was
My
thinking,
Girl,
ooh,
right.
yeah, had that, but
Okay.
JLH blue outfit,
Right.
forget about it.
Right.
Over with.
But that
over and
doesn't
done.
carry over. Ethan Embry as the son in the fourth one doesn't carry over for you.
Loved him in that movie. Really think he's great in that. Yeah, thanks for bringing me back to the narrative thread because we just talked about women that Greg had a crush on when he was 9 forever. But yes, I was going, you're Russ, and now Vegas is dark to me. So
little bit more.
this series is light. It's bright. It's daytime, and then specifically when it comes to this, it's Christmas, so it's snowy. There's all this thing.
Right.
Vegas to me is swingers. It's something else. It's a darker contrast. It's that cinematography, and I go, I need to get the vibe of the movie. And I feel that the vibe of, the original into the vibe of Christmas, it's still there. You took a certain amount of time off, and now you go, we've got a high contrast thing. We're moving over here. And me, with me and sequels, you gotta have, it's not just theme, it's not just story, it's not just character. I need that vibe. And they missed me on that vibe train. The vibe train went right past me, and I went, not same
Right. Yeah.
cinematography. I'm not in. So
Yeah.
I'll go back in and I'll take it away because I watched it once.
Yeah.
Not enough. Not
Okay.
as you could tell. You watched this once and you were out.
Yeah, I understand that. The Vegas one, the kids are more adults in that one. They're more like late high school, college age, so it has a different tone. And in that movie, part of the plot toward the end is that the family all separates. So the kids go off and they each have their own separate storyline because they're basically an
Right, you're
adult now.
right.
And so it doesn't
That's a good
have the
metaphor,
same.
actually.
Yeah, it doesn't quite have like the family feel. It doesn't have the kid feel. They're not little kids. You're not giving an experience to your children. You're taking your adult kids to Vegas. So it has like a slightly different vibe, that fourth one. I still think it's funny. It still has the family adventure. It still has the idea of like the family sort of separates and then they have to
Does it
come
have a
back
good ending?
together.
I can't remember it. Does he?
Yeah,
Did
it has
bring
actually
back?
has a really good ending. Yeah, I like the
I
ending.
don't ruin it,
'Cause
but
just
you like it. You like it.
yeah, just I mean,
Do you
right,
think it's a good
exactly.
ending as if they're gonna do 4 of them and then that's it? Like you feel
No, no,
fulfilled?
that's no, not at all.
That's why
That's
you
why I
want
said
a 5th.
yeah, no, it has its own perfect ending for that chapter, for that adventure, but I want a fifth one. I want like the Griswolds now. Yeah, I would
Okay.
love that. I would just as now a new fan of the whole series, I would just want the series to keep going, you know?
Well,
Yeah.
I have a petition, signed here by 743 people against Norman Bates' release, including the relatives of the 7 people he murdered, but I also have this other petition.
It's like, yeah, like the Rocky series. It's like, Creed was able to bring back Rocky when he's very old and he becomes the trainer, and so that's what I want to see for the Griswolds. I want to see Clark as the grandfather and I want his kids to have kids. And yeah, I want to
Okay.
see the next generation of the Griswold family. Yeah,
Okay,
I would
let's
love
just
that.
do this. Let's just for you, who would you cast? Let's have you have this. Who would, because I interrupted you earlier. Next one. You have casting on the 5th. Obviously, there's 2 people that you can't recast. Beverly D'Angelo and Chevy
Right.
Chase. Now,
Right.
it's 2025. Let's say it's going to come out in 2026. Forget the plot, but who are playing the kids and at what age and what are you doing right now? And do they have grandkids? Because now that's got to be in the conversation.
Right.
Because it's grandpa. He's grandpa now.
That's really hard. That's really I on the spot casting questions are always really hard because I like to think about that kind of thing. But I think the kids should be like 40 now, because Chevy Chase and Beverly D'Angelo, I'm assuming are, what, 70?
They've got to be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So perfect grandparents age. So yeah, to have like 40-year-old kids who have now young kids of their own. Basically you flip flop
The
it.
kids
And
have got to at least be 10, 11. The grandkids,
right,
meaning
then the
like the
grandkids. Yeah,
grandkids.
exactly.
Yeah.
So
So the grandkids are obviously gonna in this day and age, they're gonna be TikTok stars. We got to cast some TikToky kids. We got to get people in on this movie because nobody remembers the whole thing. Let's get the TikTokers in on this. Maybe one of their
how
friends
about
is like
I
Tim
have
Dillon.
you know
That could be
what?
like an
Yeah.
older friend of one of the younger
Right.
brothers. Yeah,
You
we
have
could
to
we could have
go.
that.
That would be good for like a wacky cousin. Like you could bring, I think
You could bring Tim
somebody
Dillon
like
in
Tim
as the
Dillon in to play
no,
like
no,
the
actually,
new
wait,
cousin Eddie, right?
he's cousin Eddie's new wacky conspiracy theory friend.
Right,
And
right, right,
he knows Joe Rogan, so we get Rogan in on this as well.
right.
Because we
Yeah, like a
gotta
new
get
cousin Eddie.
yeah. We're now putting this together as if we're producers, going like, all right, fuck your directors, fuck you this. Who
Yeah.
are we casting to specifically get the most amount of people into this as possible? Okay.
Yeah. Great
Okay.
question.
Theo Vaughn could maybe play one of the
Russ plays adult
Yeah,
Russ.
he
Oh
plays
gosh.
adult Russ. Yeah. We gotta get some people in here.
I
He's
I
got a good
thought
following.
I loved Anthony Michael Hall as the son in the first movie. I
He's
think that
great.
what yeah.
He's great.
I think
He's
that
great.
what you're oh go
The
ahead.
Dead Zone series, I loved him in. He's in Edward
Okay.
Scissorhands.
Right, yeah, yeah.
But yes, let's bring him back as Russ. It's the right age. It
Oh,
would work.
okay. Well, yeah, he's actually quite a bit older now. Yeah.
No, but think about it. He's like what 55, but with
Okay, yeah.
Chevy
I was
being in
picturing more
his
like
Chevy's almost
40,
80.
45. Yeah, maybe. Yeah. Um,
DH
what was I
him.
gonna say? Right.
He could do it.
I think what you're identifying with the third movie as opposed to the fourth movie is you're talking about the family element. I think that the 3 vacation movies that were in the 80s, that feels more of like a trilogy where it was the experience of this family when the kids were kids. And that's the series of films. It's their childhood. It's the
This is
Griswold
Crystal
family.
Skull. Crystal Skull
Yes.
is Vegas.
Vegas Vacation is Crystal Skull. Exactly. It's the one that's later. The kids are a little older and it feels disconnected.
It's
Yeah.
legitimately a cash grab, and you're doing it in Vegas. So I respect that
Yes. It's
metaphorical
literally a
aspect.
cash grab. Yeah. It's
Yeah.
a literal cash grab. Yeah. It's pretty good.
Yeah,
I still like the
respect
fourth
that
one.
aspect.
I still liked it, but I think there's a charm to the first 3 and they feel more connected. And I think also what you're identifying is that a lot of people just love this movie and it's its own standalone separate movie to a lot of people, right?
100%,
It's
yeah.
because it's the Christmas experience.
This episode of Light Up the Dark is brought to you in part by Eddie's signature bathrobe collection, the only luxury robe line inspired by the man who changed American Christmas fashion forever. These aren't just robes, they're lifestyle statements. Each one is crafted with Eddie's patented open-air ventilation design, perfect for late-night garage runs, early morning beer fetches, and those special moments when you find yourself outside, cigarette dangling, holding a sewer hose that really shouldn't be this warm. Every robe includes sewer-resistant fibers, tested against holiday waste levels known only to Cousin Eddie, a reinforced cigarette pocket stitched with pride, the exclusive ceremonial dump stance, hemline cut specifically for maximum mobility, and of course, a small embroidered patch on the chest that simply reads, "Shitter was full." Classy, tasteful, honest. The deluxe edition even comes pre-wrinkled and slightly stained, so you don't have to do any of the character work yourself. Slip it on, stand in your driveway, wave to the neighbors, and watch property values dip instantly, just like Eddie would have wanted. This holiday season, don't just celebrate Christmas. Live it the Eddie way. Confident, comfortable, unhinged in all the right places. And for our listeners, use promo code Andrew and Greg at checkout to receive an exclusive discount and a free emergency sewer cap. Perfect for those moments when the tank hits critical mass and you guessed it, the shitter is full.
Because I think one thing I will say about this movie that we haven't talked about Cousin Eddie. And so I wanted to bring that in because
I can't believe that we haven't. The shitter was full. Like everything they said. I said to you, the number one thing I want to talk about was like, he's a pixie dust spread around a tilt-a-whirl, and he's like barking for the yak woman, and then he walks over and he hits the little spinny thing.
Oh,
He
right.
hits the little and it just explodes. The fact that he has zero reaction to the fact that he was expecting my finger goes out, I spin this thing, and it's just he just thinks like
Right.
it's like he just learned that there's no gravity on planet Earth. Like, and it does not compute. He's just like, I move my finger, this thing moves. He moved his finger, it exploded, and he didn't go, "Oh, I've just done something wrong. I've broken this thing." He just goes, gravity doesn't work the way that I thought it did. Anyway, I'm moving on. And I find that about his character so brilliantly perfect. They set him up as a very selfish, in his own way, kind of simpleton, whatever. But then he weirdly, in his own dumb way, does the most selfless thing ever when he hears, Clark said, "I'm going to give this to your kids and do all this stuff." But when he hears, like, Clark goes, the one thing I want in this world is I want my boss brought here right in front of me in a big fucking bow, and I want it like this. He goes, "Oh, I can do that. That's the one thing that I can do. I know exactly how to do this." And he goes there. This big, bulking hunk of a man came in here, grabbed him, that somehow found a bow, brought him there, kept kicking him in the ass, and brought him up to Clark. Like, it is a cartoon. You know what I mean?
It
And
is,
then
yeah.
brings him there and goes like, "Look what I've given you." And it's just like, bless his heart, so out of touch with anything in the world, has no idea he's going to jail for the rest of his life. Like, it's zero clue.
Yeah.
It's a great character.
Yeah, it's like he actually wants Clark to like him. He does that because that's what Clark wants, and he thinks if I do this, maybe Clark will finally like me. Like, he's not dumb. Like, they play him like he's kind of dumb, but I don't think he's that dumb. I think he knows that Clark doesn't really like him. By the way, in the third movie, that's unique. The third one is the one where Clark doesn't like Cousin Eddie, and he's kind of a little prickly with him. And Cousin Eddie annoys Clark the most in the Christmas one.
So you
Yeah.
you think he doesn't? You think he does like him in the Christmas one, or you're saying
no.
he? Sorry, I misinterpreted.
Clark does not like Cousin Eddie in the Christmas Vacation movie. That's the
Right.
only one where they play that relationship with more conflict.
So you're saying in Vegas,
Yeah.
which I don't remember very much, they're
Well,
closer.
Cousin Eddie is only in the first movie for one scene or one little
Right.
short sequence. He only
Right,
he
right,
only has
right.
the little visit. They pass by Eddie's house when they're on their way to Wally World. He's only in one scene. They meet the kids and they stay there for like one night and then they're on the road again.
He was also in one of the earlier not Vacation movie, but one of the earlier Lampoons prior
Oh, okay.
to these
Okay,
even happening,
okay,
which
yeah.
is just weird. But anyway, I want to
Yeah.
hear what you have to say about the
So,
rest.
well, I was surprised at that because he was such a big part of the third movie that when I went back and watched it from the beginning, the whole series, I realized he's only in the first movie for essentially one sequence, and then he's not even in the second movie. So you don't
Right.
see him again until that moment where the camera pulls back, it shows his hat, and the camera pulls back and it's revealed, oh, Eddie's here with the whole family with the trailer, you know. And you haven't
I
seen
like
him
how you
since
remember
the
that
first
shot.
film.
So you
Yeah,
remember
yeah,
it from
yeah.
behind his head pulling back.
Yeah, because they do it like an introduction, right? It's like a moment where it's like, hey, here's Eddie.
But you remember it
Eddie's here.
behind his head. You remember
Oh,
behind his head.
is it not behind his head?
No, I think it's a dolly over a pan over.
Okay, let's go to that. Now I'm gonna go to that moment.
Yeah,
So
now we're
here
getting
we
weird,
go.
creepy,
Okay,
filmy.
here we
Because
go.
I
They try to
yeah,
light
let's see.
okay, they try to light the house. Eddie.
It's right
where
after
is
that.
it?
Yeah,
It's
and
like
then
in the middle.
Snots comes
There's
in.
a few
I don't remember
different
it behind his
sequences where
head.
they. Okay, let's see. Where are they? It's when he's greeting everybody. When they finally light up the house,
Yeah,
and Clark is
I
congratulating.
thought it's from the front. I thought it's from the front. It's an over.
Okay, let's see. Now
Okay.
no, he walks over. Can I share my screen with you? I don't know. We're kind of burning time, but no, it's from
Maybe we
behind
might.
his head.
It
No,
is from behind. Okay, you
Yep.
win. You win.
He
I'll just take your word for it. I'll watch it after. I do want to make sure
Yeah.
that our audio doesn't cut off, but
Yeah,
it is
it
behind his
cuts.
head.
Yep. We'll watch it
Interesting.
after the episode. It cuts and it's from behind Eddie, and you see that kind of old pilot hat, and
Oh
it's
no,
got
I
the
love
buckles.
the interesting. I don't remember
Yep.
the behind the head.
Yeah,
Wow.
and it's from behind his head. So they do like a reveal, like Darcy in
So
Pride
you're
and
saying
Prejudice.
this is like after the father. It's after they go down the whole line. The father's like, "It's a
Yep.
clock," and they do the
Yep.
whole thing. And you're saying Eddie
then it
gets revealed
cuts.
from behind.
Yes. And then it
Oh, that's
cuts
what.
and you see like his silhouette, lit with the Christmas lights from behind, and you reveal, and then
This is one of
yeah.
those things that's so wild about like a movie. I'm speaking for myself, but like a movie that you love to this degree. That scene, I get caught up. It's what I said. Why did Hazel? Where did she give up? Like that scene when it hits, I'm emotionally in that whole scene. That
So
whole
you
thing.
don't
I'm
even
so
remember.
emotionally in it. I'm not watching it like a Kubrick film. I'm not able to
Right.
step away from the emotion, and I'm watching it going, I'm feeling this like I'm a kid, and I'm feeling it the way that human beings watch movies. And this
Right.
is one of those movies that I'm still able to watch as a human being. So I'm not studying it going like, okay, the first shot of Goodfellas is this, or the dolly into Henry Hill slamming the trunk going, ever since I wanted to be a gangster, like I'm dum bum bum bum, like those shots I memorize, isn't that? This movie allows me to still have that childhood wonder of not studying shots and looking at cinematography, and I just feel it through the characters. And it's one of the few films that I'm able to do that with, and I thank you so much for not ruining it for me.
You're welcome. Yeah, let me do a bathroom break, and then we'll do
Now,
20. We'll do the last 20 minutes.
The case dependent here is going to
You
be
can keep talking.
how 2.0 is this going to be?
Okay, we'll find out.
Okay, we're going to find out. All right, so for any of you still listening right now, early on in our podcasting times, Andrew used to, we would talk too long. We would sometimes talk 4 hours, 6 hours. But Andrew used to cut and edit our conversations. Recently, last 5 or 6 episodes or whatnot, we've gotten to the point where we both had a conversation, and really his wife pulled us aside and said, I need my husband back. Please stop editing the podcast. Now, who would ever think about editing a podcast? But Andrew wouldn't really edit the podcast, like censor it. He would just edit it like an editor, and he'd go like, "Oh, this part of the conversation that we had at the end would be a little bit better at the beginning, and this part in the middle used to be a little bit better over here." But when you try to take an uncensored conversation that lasts like 2, 3 hours, and you try to organize it, I mean, you go insane. So Andrew kind of went insane. There was a lot of therapy involved. He visited Nurse Ratched for a long period of time, and he was about to become Billy. And we all kind of came back in and said, like, listen, it's time for 2.0. And that's when Andrew decided to come to
I'm
2.0.
back.
And Andrew's back.
Wow.
And did you wash your hands?
Wow. I wonder what you've been saying this whole time.
It's 2.0. You'll
Interesting.
find out when it's
Okay.
live.
Wow. Okay. So you created a little editing situation there where when I
Well,
step
no,
away,
we don't. I
right,
explained why we don't edit
right.
anymore.
When I step away, I don't need to edit that out.
Not anymore.
Okay.
Not
All
anymore.
right. All right.
Sometimes
All right.
silence and sometimes letting the waveform pattern die works out just fine.
Oh, all right.
We all go a little mad
Um,
sometimes.
This episode of Light Up the Dark is brought to you by GriswoldGear.com, the world's leading supplier of holiday survival gear for families on the brink of disaster. Introducing our new Sparky Survival Kit. Inside every kit, you'll find industrial strength exterior lights, guaranteed not to knock out the power grid, blind your neighbors, or cause the local utility company to panic. A fireproof turkey thermometer for when you want a holiday meal that doesn't explode into dust the moment you cut into it. And our patented squirrel early warning system, because nothing ruins a peaceful mountain getaway like a screaming rodent launching out of your Christmas tree. All packaged inside our collectible Cousin Eddie canvas tote, which may or may not smell like propane. Perfect for anyone like me who begins their trip as a Griswold skeptic and comes down the mountain the other side as a full-fledged fifth member of the Griswold family. Order your Sparky Survival Kit today at GriswoldGear.com. That's GriswoldGear.com, and use promo code Andrew and Greg to get 10% off your first Sparky Survival Kit. He did it. GriswoldGear.com, helping you survive the holidays one bad decision at a time.
So I will say this, that by the time I watched the whole franchise and then the third movie, the Christmas movie, Christmas Vacation again, you don't like it when I call it the third one. Yeah, I could tell that bothers you. You're like, this is not the third
To
one.
me, it's the only National
yeah,
Lampoon's
this is
movie.
yeah, it's
This is the
Christmas Vacation.
best.
Okay,
Yeah.
but is this your favorite? Yeah, what's your favorite of the whole?
I mean, this
Yeah,
is
it's this
beyond
one.
my favorite. This touches my childhood. It touches
Okay.
as Dennis Leary would say, this touches the bottoms of the tockles of my heart.
Aw, okay. One thing I really did love when I watched it the second time is how Clark really is a good father, I think. And we talked about that, how he's such a great character and he's always trying to give a great experience to his family. And I loved how, like, Cousin Eddie's daughter, I believe it was, in the Christmas vacation, she doesn't believe in Santa Claus, or she's starting not to. She says, I didn't get presents last year, so I don't know if I believe anymore. And Clark is one of his main goals. He wants to give a great experience to his family and his kids, but he wants to give a great experience to everybody. He's trying to please his, his cousin's kids and his own
Right.
parents and his wife's parents and just everybody, right? And one of the big elements of that is he says to that little girl, there's a actually really nice, dramatic, touching scene in the middle right
Shit and
after.
bricks. Oh, I'm
Yeah.
sorry, shit and rocks.
Exactly. Yeah. Right after he has the fantasy about the woman, he actually has this nice little scene with the little girl. And he says, I'm going to make you believe in Santa by the time this
It's
Christmas
so
is over.
nice. He really means
right?
that. He really
Yeah.
and it brings it from, like, that's what I love. It brings it from a comedy movie into a really sacred, like, children's aspect of a movie, but it's not just for children. It's showing adults, look what you can do to kids. Look
Mm.
at the power that you can have to bring kids this little magical experience. And that's what this movie does really well. And that's why I can't wait to talk about A Christmas Story as well. Like that aspect of a movie that can show to adults, hey, here's the real magic of Christmas is that you can actually take a young person and help mold them. And I think that's the deeper, deeper meaning when like Hollywood makes a really good Christmas movie. It's about finding the best part in yourself to give to others. And this movie does that. This movie has that thing that gives that little magic. And I always treasure that. I really, really love that.
Wow. That could be another opening to the podcast. You
It
said the
could
other
be.
one should
It's
be an
it's
opening,
another
but
2 it's another 2.0. You're right though.
yeah,
It could be.
that
It
was
could be.
because I think you just really summarized it perfectly in that little speech, and it was, speaking of the heart, and I think that's what everybody connects to with this movie is they see themselves in it, they see their family. This movie has such a relatable experience. At the beginning, I said, "Oh, I want to spend, Christmas with the rich McAllisters." Yeah, I do, but the truth is that this Christmas is more like my real family, and it actually is more relatable. Like, you
It's
do
relatable.
feel this is like a real Christmas. It's like we've all had this experience, And the funny thing about that experience is that I think the reason the movie works and is so funny and is so heartfelt as well is because when we're at the Christmas, we feel like we're in this movie. It feels like everything's going wrong. It feels frustrating. But when you think back on it, you think, gosh, what a great Christmas with my whole family. We all spent
It
time
was
together.
the journey. It was the
Yeah,
journey. It wasn't the destination.
exactly. And so I can imagine Clark's kids looking back on their old video footage, having the same nostalgia and thinking, wow, my dad was the best. And they don't remember that a squirrel attacked the whole family, or maybe they, you
They
know
don't
what I
remember
mean?
that the cat got electrocuted.
Yeah. The cat died. I mean, we had a few, casualties along the way, but the kid, they don't remember it to that detail. All they really take away is my dad cared about us. He wanted us to spend Christmas together, and he always tries hard to give us the best Christmas he could. And so then they grow into adults who feel like they were loved, and they become happy adults who have functional, lives in society. And that's what Clark has, and Clark is that. He's the product of his parents gave him enough love where he's a good guy and he wants to give the love back. He wants to pay it
So
forward to his
you
kids.
you br you brought up something more interesting though, which was what did we learn about his father? His father had
A
a
lot
lot
of
of
help from Jack
help from Jack
Daniels.
Daniels, and we saw in that 60 millimeter it wasn't as fun. So what does that even tell you? It tells you that kind of if you walk through the world and you remember things really well and you look at everything with rose-colored glasses, you might, if you're just a positive person, you might be able to pass that positivity on. That's one of the potential aspects of a way of looking at this. I'm not saying it's a main message that's in here and it might just be all in there are jokes, but we did point out those two things. How happy was his childhood within there? Even his father sitting there going, "Yeah, it wasn't as easy. It wasn't it. Dad, how did you do this? How did you?" And which I've never really, I've always seen that in the 16 millimeter, like when he's watching it. But when you said it, I went, "Oh shit!" And I just thought about the Jack Daniels aspect, and I went, "Oh
Right.
fuck, okay, that's interesting." Like, did Clark just overcome that aspect and go, I'm breaking the thread right here. I'm going to not do this. I'm going to ensure that my family has this type of thing. We're going on this thing. And that's why he's so driven in that way. That's why Sparky is so sitting there going like, we're at the threshold of hell. Like, and when he breaks within that scene, I think that is the most impactful scene within the entire movie. Because this is a guy who's going, I'm holding it together no matter what. absolutely no matter what. I'm the only one on this thing. Everything else is against me. Every scene of everything. You're locked in the ceiling. Your boss doesn't love you. You have to buy this pool. You want to do this. You've got your cousins coming over. You've got everyone here. Your son's sitting in here going to be sleeping with his sister now because the aunt's coming over. He goes like, rub my bunion. I'll give you a quarter. Like everything is being thrown on him. And he's holding the entire world on his back because we're seeing it kind of through his perspective. And he won't crack, and he's not gonna crack, and he's not gonna crack. And that is the moment where this fucking guy cracks. And he doesn't crack where he pulls out his shotgun and starts shooting his family. He just cracks, and you get to see this absolute, perfect, brilliant, comedic fucking meltdown that is so absolutely perfect and absolutely historical. It is up there and as good, not meltdown wise, but as good and as effective of trains, planes, and automobiles. In that same, I could be a cold-hearted cynic like you, and that
Yeah.
John Candy fucking like, I'm cutting you to the bone, I'm doing this. They're two different monologues in very different ways that take the audience and grab you by the throat and go, hey, this is a turning point in the movie right now that you're watching, and you've been watching this movie, and now I'm bringing you a different way. The John Candy one is one that cuts you to the heart, and you never walk away through the rest of your life without hearing that again. This one is much more comedic, and this is full comedy. But now I just want to talk about trains, planes, automobiles, which we can't do, but I'm going to bump that one up.
Yeah. Do you know what I think it says is it says it's one of the most classic timeless Christmas lessons, which is that it's the thought that counts. That's what I think it really says, is that dad can lose it a little bit, things can go wrong, but what you really remember is it's the thought that counts. It's like he tried and he cared about us, and that's what always comes through. So, and that's why you can laugh, is because, yeah, things go wrong along the way, but the heart is always there, the intention is always there. And so you always know this guy's, got a good intention and he's trying his hardest. And so
The
you just love
intention.
him.
You're
Yeah,
100%
it's
right.
the intention. Yeah. Yeah. And by the way, in our little game that we now play, relate every movie to The Shining.
Oh wow. Okay. Hold on. Hold your. We need to get a little like 6-second intro beat song that goes on and go like, and now related to The Shining. Like we need
And
to have like
now-
a game show button that we press.
Right. Ding, 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 ding.
And now, Andrew and Greg will relate National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation to The Shining.
It needs to be the WWE intro.
That's right. Okay. So related to
Alright,
The Shining.
I'm
well,
all fucking ears on this one.
well, it's about a man.
There's a
who's-
lot of snow.
Yeah, that's right. It's about a man who spends an isolated period of time in the snow with him and his family, and he slowly has a mental breakdown. And at the end, he kind of takes a weapon and sort of starts, attacking things and seeming like he's a little bit out of control. He does cut the banister of the
The
stairs.
whole movie, he's
Yeah.
the newel post.
Yeah, he
Fix
does,
the newel post with the
That's right.
chainsaw, and he is going through a maze the entire film. Okay, wait, hold on. Yep, you're
Yeah.
onto something here. Now, is each character? Can we relate somebody to Grady? Can we relate somebody to the woman
Well.
in the bathroom? Can we get like how deep can we go here?
Yeah.
Is Tawny in the
Um,
bathroom?
Yeah. When he's watching the old 16mm film, that's like when Jack is talking to Lloyd at the bar. He's like thinking about his past. No,
and
I'm
or
kinda
when
joking,
when he
yeah.
has the from the book when he has the overlook
Mm.
open and he's looking at the whole thing and he's got the typewriter. Okay.
There you go.
Okay.
But
okay.
but the way
I'll go.
the way I would phrase it, if you actually want to, kind of try to actually make this somewhat serious, to use that to actually talk about Christmas Vacation, Clark Griswold is like the opposite of Jack Torrance, because he has the same kind of slip. He starts to go crazy. He has the same frustrations. Those two characters are similar. They're both fathers. They're both frustrated. They're both trying to do their best for their family. But one truly has a break and he snaps and he turns into the villain.
Right.
One can't handle life. and he's not strong enough or smart enough.
He's
or,
trying to escape.
You know,
He's trying to escape life. One wants to get off this
That's
planet
right.
and escape life.
And that's why it makes Clark Griswold look even better when you compare him, because what you realize is Clark is just, he's actually, he's kind of a winner. He's actually like, that's why I said he's kind of a cool guy. He's actually a guy where he does get what he wants.
He's an honorable person.
He's honorable, and he usually achieves his goal. He actually usually succeeds in these films, right? He successfully takes his family on the vacation he wanted. Maybe the details along the way aren't the same. Maybe he didn't picture himself holding someone at gunpoint, or he didn't picture kidnapping his boss to get his Christmas bonus. But for, in whatever way, he got it done, and he's able to mentally hold it together enough for the sake of the kids to say, you know what, family, we're going to push through this. Everybody has hard times, but the key to succeeding in life is you have to push through the hard times. And so he's always actually teaching his kids the best lesson. That's why I said that first movie is like life lessons in a fun, silly comedy movie. And even the Christmas one too, it still has that, because it's just taking the same idea and just packaging it in the Christmas bow,
like The Boss. This is also another potential opening. This is a very good rant.
You like
that was a very good rant.
Yeah. So anyway, I did just jokingly laugh to myself, thinking like, oh, he does actually kind of go crazy, and he takes the chainsaw and he starts, and of course they do the bit too, like Friday the 13th.
It's 100%.
So they actually reference another horror movie. So they actually reference a horror movie. So there you go.
Yes, and that's when he goes like, bend over and I'll show you. I wasn't talking to you. Like, that gets very a little dirty for the time period.
Right. Yeah. But see, that's what I mean, is Clark's kind of cool, because like the neighbors are jerks to him, and he throws it right back. He doesn't take people's crap.
And
like he stands up for himself.
Putting a tree through their goddamn window. Which we do have to say, how great is it that Julia Louis-Dreyfus is just randomly in this movie? Like, as somebody who would, like, I watched it and I knew, like, oh, Elaine's in the movie. But I'm just saying, like, if you just watch it randomly, you're like, oh my God. Like, sorry to say, Julia Louis-Dreyfus, sorry, you're Elaine. So somebody just goes, wow, Elaine's in this movie. Like, if you showed this to, like, a millennial who just saw her for the first time on, like, Netflix, they'd be like, wow, Elaine's in the movie. Nobody remembers the other guy.
Right, totally, yeah.
But he does play they play a great dynamic. Like, that's the John Hughes aspect of something like that. Those two people who are cumulatively on frame for less than 3 minutes. You get them as a couple in the way that the writer-director wants to show you them. Like, they just work out together. They do this together. They're bothered by Clark. They want their place to be right. They want everything going on. And there's like, oh, I'm going to kiss everybody after a shower, of course. Like, you get every little thing of them just by one little aspect. And they play that so well. It's actually hard for an actor or actress to do that, where you go like, listen, you've got like 3 minutes of screen time. But by the end of this movie, you will be remembered. When somebody says, remember the neighbors? Yes, I do. I just watched a 2-hour movie, and you had literally less than 3 minutes of screen time, and you are remembered.
Yeah. Those characters are the wet bandits of this movie.
Oh, you bastard. That's good. Okay, that's good.
They're the two side characters that we like seeing get beat up because we don't like them. And, they're the cartoon kind of villain. So,
they're not on screen as much, but you're 100% right. With the comic relief over here that get tortured. And we get to watch
They're the couple that doesn't have kids. So you hate them because they don't have kids. They don't have any of the same problems that Clark has, right? That's why.
They have no responsibility besides ensuring the fact that where did the water go? I don't know, Margot.
Right. Just exercising in their like sci-fi futuristic spacesuits. When I saw those, I was like, are those 1980s exercise clothes, or are they going to Mars?
Those are the sweatsuits. Yeah. Like that. That brings it back to Matthew Modine running around in what's that movie that I put on our list as well? It's before
Which
he
one's
did.
That?
It's
Matthew Modine.
Yeah, Matthew Modine, right before he did Kubrick's movie. It was he's running around in a sweatsuit just like that, called Fuck. I'll think of it as you close this out. I'll think of it.
Okay, bring it back. Oh no,
Yeah.
actually, I wanted to give you the last word because my last word is thank you for introducing me to the National Lampoon Vacation movies. I love them now. I'm a fan of the whole franchise. I even liked this one, the third one, the Christmas one. I will say by the end of the whole run, I liked the movie. You know, I would say I like other ones more. I thought that all the ones where they actually do go out of the house and they're in the car and stuff and they're constantly moving, I think that creates a great dynamic. But I loved learning about the Griswolds. I love seeing their home life. I loved meeting them and becoming, you know, you're a part of their family. You're invited over for Christmas with them, right? For this whole movie. And so by the end, I loved that experience. And it's now one of my all-time favorite comedy franchises, I would say. Yeah.
Wow.
Overall, yeah. Love the Griswold family. Yeah. So glad that you picked this one, actually. Yeah.
Well,
And
I have to say from
I probably will revisit this movie in subsequent, subsequent
subsequent
Christmases.
Decembers.
Yeah. Yep. I probably will. Yeah. Yeah.
Well, I hope to be able to we got 43 seconds left. I hope to be able to do that exact same thing for you when A Christmas Story comes out. I do have to say thank you for that. I love to be able to spread the joy of Clark W. Griswold and the entire family, specifically when it comes to Christmas Vacation, but you've brought it further, and you've made me want to watch European Vacation, which I will do. And I just want to also throw a shout out there to Matthew Modine of Vision Quest from 1985. That was my
Vision
toss out that I was
Quest,
doing
okay.
there, wearing the silver outfit. And we have 8 seconds, 7 seconds. We love you all. Andrew, I love that you love this movie. Goodbye, my brother. I love
Merry
you.
Christmas, buddy.
They don't chase clout, they just chase the lore. Dig scenes that the mainstream ignores. Where light fights dark in a fabled war. Yeah, the truth gets told when the movie's born. I'm the break in the flicker, the cut in the edit. The blade through the credits, a frame they embedded. Light in the distance, persistence poetic. The dark is a prison, I brighten with aesthetic. No stunt doubles, I tumble through trap fights. The scripts in my soul, I control when my track spikes. Whisper in a reel, I reveal with a black light. The dark is a canvas that I carve with a flashlight. Call it a war cry, cinematic spark. Puzzle in the shadows and code of the art. It's Andrew and Greg and the legacy embarks. Our voices ignite and we light up the dark.
Yeah, I wish we did have a few more than just like 2 minutes there at the wrap up, because when you stop talking about the movie and you start just sort of reflecting like we're doing now, you just texted me, this is one of the films that allows me to access the feelings of being a kid looking ahead at life. And then you said, and I still feel that every time I watch it. And I think that's so important. It's so true. And it's so true. The more I think about it, the more I think that this is actually a really special movie, because I feel like the Griswold family is a special family. And now when I think about next Christmas, I think I want to spend part of next Christmas with the Griswolds. And so I want to put the movie on again, you know?
Well, Greg sent me a message last Thanksgiving week. He said, for our part, don't shit on Christmas Vacation, please. Don't be a dick, that's my childhood in a VHS case. I wrote back, got it, my friend, with a laugh emoji face. But when I watched the film, the lights got real dark. Clark's losing his grip, the turkey burst just like my heart. Hazel's losing interest and reaching for her phone. Just like that, I'm watching the movie all alone. I didn't know the Griswolds or their complications. I had walked in on someone else's Christmas celebration. Then Hazel and I packed and headed out into the cold. Thanksgiving in the Catskills, quiet mountain, stories untold. Ooh, sexy, but we can get away, and Greg happened to make this pick. Funny how fate can make some things stick. I watched Vacation on Vacation, yeah. And I watched it all alone. I watched Vacation on Vacation, and somehow I found a home. I watched Vacation on Vacation, yeah. And Greg, it's thanks to you. I watched Vacation on Vacation. Griswolds are my family too. Up in that cabin, the winter air on my face. Hazel's asleep, and I'm watching Vacation from '83. Slow down, light up, relax, embrace. Chevy's cool,
He looks like my dad.
Beverly's sexy,
She looks like my mom.
Candy's hilarious. And wow, Christy Brinkley. Oh, and Anthony Michael is Russ, not that kid from Big Bang Theory.
Hi, Johnny.
Wally World Madness, the chaos, the mayhem. Every mile's a challenge, but nothing can break them. Clark going crazy out of nothing but love. Suddenly the Griswolds fit me like a glove. I watched European Vacation, cheerio, wee wee. Then Christmas Vacation again, but now it hit differently. I knew all their joy, their fear, their blues. Yeah, now the Griswolds were my family too. I watched Vacation on Vacation, and I watched it all alone. I watched Vacation on Vacation, and somehow I found a home. I watched Vacation on Vacation, and Greg, it's thanks to you. I watched Vacation on Vacation. Now the Griswolds are my family too. The scenes shine brighter when you know how much Clark tries, stapling dreams to the rooftop while the wind just hurts his pride. A father fighting to give his kids the perfect Christmas day, battling his wallet, his childhood, and that squirrel on his face. Yeah, Greg lit up the season with his first Christmas pick, and I went on vacation where I thought the clocks don't tick. Up in the Catskills with Hazel, and up all night with Clark. Yeah, I found a family that lights up the dark. Now Cousin Eddie wasn't chaos, he was family arriving. Jelly of the Month Club wasn't nothing, it was surviving. Suddenly the Griswolds were my salvation. I found the heart of National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation. I watched Vacation on Vacation, and I watched it all alone. I watched Vacation on Vacation, and somehow I found a home. I watched Vacation on Vacation, and Greg, it's thanks to you. I watched Vacation on Vacation. Now the Griswolds are my family too. Then Greg and I talked, microphones were soft and low. Film school rivals turned friends with mileage that doesn't show. We talked Christmas and fatherhood, and what a good man tries to be. How family is a messy string of lights, and it's all on us to lead. For just a moment, we were kids again, spending Christmas with the Griswolds, learning how to be friends. Greg still says the Christmas one's the best. A star on his tree, I still say that first road trip's the one that really hooked me. But now I get the meaning, the mess, and all the sparks.
Sparky!
Now I get Clark Griswold lighting up the dark.
He did it!
So thank you, Greg, for the Griswolds, the laughter, the love, for making my Catskills Thanksgiving rise above. You made a new tradition, and it's one that I'll hold dear. Now I'll visit the Griswolds every year. I watched Vacation on Vacation, and I watched it all alone. I watched Vacation on Vacation, and somehow I found a home. I watched Vacation on Vacation, and Greg, it's thanks to you. I watched Vacation on Vacation. Now the Griswolds are my family too. Hazel was asleep, I watched Vacation on Vacation, and man, it really cut deep. I watched Vacation on Vacation, I saw that family isn't hard. I watched Vacation on Vacation, and somehow I found my heart. Somewhere in laughter and Clark's determination, I found a family that I missed and a friend who helped me find them. Here's to the lights that we untangle and the love we try to mend. It's that time of year again, Greg. Merry Christmas, my friend. I watch Vacation on Vacation. Yeah. I watch Vacation on Vacation.